I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much to unpack. Thank you for joining me once again today. To unpack. It's Saturday, February 8th, 2025. Just watched the Stormers choke away a victory at DHL Greenpoint Stadium, and I'm kind of in a foul mood for that, but I'll make the most of this. Just kidding. But I'm not happy about that loss. Welcome back to the program. It's a pleasure to have you all back here. You'll get the facts here, not the bullshit. We're going to talk about the propaganda machine that's already underway, the lies. I have information from multiple sources here, and we will refute the garbage coming out of the media and from the ANC about what's happening. Also, bear in mind, folks, that I did a 4-hour broadcast last night on this, and we talked a lot about it. You can always go back and watch it. I also did a prepared video earlier this morning, which explains a lot of what's going on. I have more information now, which I can share with you. I've had a chance to cull some more information together, talking about what asylum is and what refugee status is, which I last night explained, but here I have the exact facts on how that works. In addition, all the times that the ANC has told the world that nil compensation means they'll pay nothing and take your land over the past few years. That's compiled by Ernst van Zyl from AfriForum. I will be sharing that with you as well. Also show you the lies that are being perpetrated, disinformation by the legacy media in South Africa and by the ANC, because they've been caught with their pants down in an alleyway getting slobbing their knob by someone else. Sorry for the graphic description, but they've been caught with their pants down and they're embarrassed, and we're going to cover that today. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining us today. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's not just, your average everyday channel. You're actually getting somebody here who knows what the hell they're talking about. So thank you for that. All right, let me go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat, which I traditionally do when I start these broadcasts. A little bit of a long broadcast, give people a chance to get in here. Because a lot of people are still, it's like rope-a-dope. It's like, it's the, the rumble in the jungle. It's the Thriller in Manila, and Muhammad Ali has got you on the rope. He's bobbing and weaving. I dance like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And Donald Trump is stinging like a bee. He is smacking the snot out of the ANC, and they are trying to struggle back, but once again, they can't help themselves but insult the United States and lie about us. Ronnie Lamola lying about what's happening with people being deported, talking about, migrants. They're not migrants. They're criminal alien invaders. You're doing the same thing in South Africa. People violate your sovereignty. You're a lying sack of horse shit, Ronnie Lamola. But that doesn't come as a surprise. He's a failed justice minister, as people didn't go to prison for murder, rape, gang-based, or gender-based violence. Let's say hello. Salem's Cave, welcome to you. The amount of cognitive dissonance and the resulting fallout is too high. It's unbelievable. It's shocking. Tony is in from the oil sands of Alberta. Anthony Swart, welcome to you. Alan Kotza, and then Johan De Beer, thank you for your membership. I do appreciate that. John K, has the Rand hit 31 yet? No, but it will. Baba Chocolate says, unelected Elon is unrestricted control over 5 trillion. That's nonsense. Where do you get this garbage from, Baba? Do you believe the stuff you're reading in the press? That's horse manure. Elon Musk has zero control over any dollars. Elon Musk cannot spend a penny. So stop buying hook, line, and sinker the shit that you're being fed like you're a mushroom in a corner by the legacy media. Don't fall for it. It's unbelievable the stuff that people hear and they actually believe is true. Rory, thank you for subscribing. Elon Musk has zero control over $0 of U.S. budget. It's as simple as that. Elon Musk has access to how the money is being fraudulently spent. He can see the receipts. That's what he can see. Don't fall for it, Baba. You're smarter than that. Don't fall for the bullshit from your fake South African media or the U.S. fake media. All right. Let's see. Imminent. What is this? I'm not an alien. Sorry. That's the UN too. And then Greg is back from Poland. So I have a serious question. What rights and privileges do refugees have under U.S. law? Right to work. Asylum seekers don't have right to work, but refugees do. So every year, so let me give you the definition here very quickly so we get to this as early in this stream. 325 people currently here. Every year, people come to America seeking protection because they've suffered persecution or fear that they will suffer persecution due to race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. You may only file this application if you are physically present in the United States and you are not a citizen. However, if you cheat by destination shopping, then you'll be denied your asylum. In other words, if you are an asylum seeker from Honduras, where there's an incredibly high murder rate, and you travel through Guatemala and Mexico and come to the border and slip into America and then claim asylum, you're not a legitimate asylum seeker. You will be sent back. If you are an asylum seeker, the international norm is the first safe port. So if you're an asylum seeker in Syria and you get to the Turkish border, Turkey lets you in, you claim asylum there, not in Germany, not in the United States. So race, religion, nationality, membership, particular social group. That's asylum. We're not talking about asylum for South Africans. Thank you, J.L. van Jaarsveld, for your membership. We're talking about refugee status. Trump is offering refugee status to Afrikaners, and he didn't define what an Afrikaner is for the U.S. government. I'm sure that Afrikaners and borders can define it, but not Heidi. Thank you for subscribing. Not the U.S. government. They have to define that. Yet to be defined. Refugees under United States law is someone who is located outside the United States, is of special humanitarian concern to the United States, Afrikaners, demonstrates that they are persecuted or fear persecution due to race, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, is not firmly resettled in another country. In other words, you can't go to Kenya and then come to America, and is admissible to the United States. In other words, you're not a criminal that we're aware of. A refugee does not include anyone who ordered, incited, assisted, or otherwise participated in the persecution of any person or group on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular group. In other words, you can't be the genocideers and then claim that you're a refugee. It doesn't work. So that is refugee and asylum status, which I promised I'd cover, and I'll continue. Thank you, Sean Fontonda, for becoming a subscriber. All right, Hendo is back. The news cycle in 2025 is absolutely befucked. Yeah, befucked. Yeah, I would say my fuck Marlies. That's where we're at right now. This is crazy. Chris Sten is here. Welcome, Chris. Salem's Cave. Who else we got there? Annabelle 20 and another. How will Afrikaner culture and language be preserved? Well, again, this is why I am not a fan of this sort of thing, folks. It won't be preserved. It won't be unless you settle like the Amish do and stick to a religious code that keeps it inculcated. It won't happen. There won't be Afrikaans schools here. Your kids will learn a little bit of Afrikaans in the house, and then they won't learn Afrikaans. It'll all be lost. It'll be flushed down the drain, and your grandkids won't even know that they're Afrikaners. That's what's going to happen, and that's the problem if you cherish your culture, and that's why Afrikaners, many of them won't take up this offer. But other people are tired of being unemployed and being harassed and being assaulted for being white. Just because they speak Afrikaans. And so I understand where they're coming from. But a lot of people simply aren't going to take this offer up. So Pablo says he need an intro ASAP. Maybe I need new viewers, Pablo. Frank Bruins, welcome to you. Freya Menzel's back. Welcome. Okay, NWA says, muy, muy, muy. I agree. Those beautiful songs. That was Giselle, if you don't know. She's from Grootfontein in Namibia. Okay, amazing song. Now, how is there no color? Exactly. Afrikaners resilient, but the country will not survive a mass exodus of farmers. That's true. It won't. It won't. Can't believe 44 of us will be Americans soon, says Matthew. Where are you getting that from? Refugee status doesn't grant you American citizenship, so get that out of your head. You have to live here a period of time, obey the law. What a day so far. It's buzzing with ANC supporters for whites to leave the country. Of course, they're racist, these people. You don't hear white South Africans telling the Nguni speakers to go north of the Zambezi, do you? I also saw that EFF say any person that takes up Trump's offer must have their citizenship removed. Funny because those people will no longer have to pay tax in South Africa. That's right. Good point. Diane Humple, welcome you. Garrett Gilligan from Somerset West. Debbie Morey is back. And then Matt P says, South Africa will be nothing without Afrikaner and a white person in general. The economy is going to tumble. Long live the Afrikaner people. Okay, what's up with the music? What's the problem with the music? Do you have objections to it? It's my program. You don't like the music? That's an introduction. We normally start our broadcast, and since I was giving people a chance to get here, we played 2 songs instead of 1. If you don't like the Afrikaans music, I'm sorry, but I won't apologize for it. I promote Afrikaans, Sotho, and Tswana on this program, and I don't have any Tswana or any Sotho music that I have the copyright to, just that music, so we play that. Okay. All right, it'll survive. Christopher says, just hope we can take our colored and Indian friends with us. Yes, the executive order from the president says Afrikaner. It doesn't say skin color. Let's put this in clear condition. There are people who can legitimately make the argument that they are Afrikaners. There are 800,000 black South Africans whose first language is Afrikaans. They could try to make that argument. There are 180,000 Indians whose first language is Afrikaans out of 1.2 million Indians, or 1.4 million, whichever the true figure is. And there are about 5 to 6 million colored South Africans whose first language is Afrikaans. Most of them are Dutch Calvinists, and they have Afrikaner surnames like de Klerk and September and, and Arendse and names like that. So keep that in mind. Pablo Charlie doesn't like the long intro. Go back to sleep, Pablo Charlie. Nick Muller, welcome to you. I agree with Christopher. Indians and colors must be accepted. Well, nobody has to be accepted, but they should do that. Yes, sirens are ringing. That's correct. Alan, glad the song's over. Okay. Also, there are many people of all colors that are Afrikaner. I just said that, did I not? Okay. All right. Okay. Joy Scott says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Tanios, welcome back. South Africa patriotic catchy song. Well, give me one. Giselle promised me a song 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't got it yet. She had a bout of cancer and didn't get a chance to write that song for me yet. Okay, and who else we got? With all the Afrikaners moving to South, new American subscribers. We're lucky to have you 2 times this day. We salute you, much respect. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Pumlani says, let's freaking go. Okay, well, get a grip, folks. Calm down. Good Lord. Good Lord. You don't have to stay, I get paid the same whether you're here or not. In Portuguese, South Africa, my ancestors arrived way before the Bantus arrived in South Africa. Hey, Tony, how's it going there? And Debbie said it's a great introduction. I agree. Toppy says ANC clowns are doing what your left-wing jokes are doing. They've mobilized to cover their crimes. Exactly. I think Trump is dumb and has no idea. And we're not. See, the problem is that, as I've said repeatedly for the past 10 days, Donald Trump is playing 3D chess with Jean-Luc Picard, and the ANC is playing checkers, but they don't even have any checkers. The board is empty because they stole it. Elizabeth Craggs, welcome to you. Nolene Hussein, welcome to you. Coloreds and Indians are not victims of racial discriminatory laws. They are beneficiaries of it. Well, that depends on your viewpoint, Michael. They would disagree with you. When they starve like Zimbabwe, yep, okay. I know Tswana heavy metal band that would love to play their music. Met him at Bull and Bush. Really? Bull and Bush in Habaroni? Well, send me the info, Slippery Pickle. I'm not really heavy metal, but I could try it. My mom's side has Afrikaans history. Okay. LaRue grew up, believe, hating. Okay. Would be a pleasure to work in an economy where you don't ask what's your BE status exactly. I hear you. ANC is a racist organization, says Rob Hersoff. And Rob Hersoff would be 100% correct. It is a racist organization. I mean, they've proven it here. And now they're trying to cover up. But we have the receipts. We have the receipts. And they're going to tell you that they didn't call for expropriation on compensation with nil compensation. They're not confiscating land. It's all BS, folks. I've outlined it here in multiple videos. Go back and check them. Baba Chocolati says Trump doesn't understand the importance of soft power. Oh, please. Please. Baba Chocolati. Donald Trump was president for 4 years. Donald Trump allowed soft power to play a role. The United States kept the gloves off. The PEPFAR money kept flowing. The gender-based violence money kept flowing. The conservation of wildlife and anti-poaching money kept flowing. The democracy promotion kept flowing. And what do we get? Shit on. We didn't get anything except deeper in debt. Another day older and another day deeper in debt. Soft power, please. Soft power is bullshit. It hasn't accomplished anything. I was in the soft power regime for 25 years, and I can see what soft power doesn't accomplish when it's in the hands of morons like the State Department and USAID. People who sit back and let the governments take credit for the work that we do, the money that we spend on behalf. How many South Africans outside my audience actually know that we spent $8.1 billion delivering HIV assistance support, aid, and antiretrovirals counseling testing for South Africans over the last 22 years? How many South Africans even know that the United States is spending $500 million in South Africa every freaking year, year after year after year, while the ANC craps on us? How many? Soft power my ass. Soft power is useless if you don't trumpet it from the towers, if you don't get up and tell people what you're doing, which is what I did. Thank you for your membership, Marcel. Which is what I did when I was in Africa. Not to show off, but to let people know this was brought to you by the American people. The reason you're getting a professional military is because we care that militaries don't prey on their civilians. And that's why we brought this training course here. Come on, soft power, Baba. Come on. Baba. I'm beginning to believe you're just a troll. All right. I'm not going to give you a spanking yet, but I believe you're being trolling because that's ridiculous. All right. Indian Dutch Reformed churches. Yep. Okay. What else we got here? Let me jump ahead. Let me get to the news. Okay. Kurt's ANC are the pawns. This is the one time in history we might have an opportunity to get out of this country and get employed because of our skills, not our skin color. That's true if that's what you want to do, Okert, but I really feel bad about people. The debt isn't that important. Owed to already wealthy Americans mostly. No, it's not. Oh, okay. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You have no idea what you're talking about, Bob. I'm done addressing your questions because you're just making shit up. Okay. Righteous anger. That's not real anger. Wait till it comes. The real anger will come there. John Murphy says, I'm done with one-sided politics. All I want is a safe place for my family. Unfortunately, it's not been easy to get to USA, but it would make the move for my kids' future. Gisele's music is fantastic. Do not change it. Ignore those who are jealous, says Layli Dutoy. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, donkey. Que alaboa. All right, so James Wallace says, thank you for your hard work. What do you think about AfriForum's backtracking? What backtracking did AfriForum do? Please explain. I have seen no backtracking from AfriForum. I've heard AfriForum declaring. What backtracking have they done from your perspective? You must have seen something I didn't see. So I can't comment on it until you tell me what it is. Cool says, so how do we start this process? Information online is very vague. Well, yeah, because the program is currently frozen. Donald Trump froze the program that we're talking about, the United States Refugee Admissions Program, by executive order the day that he became in office on the 20th of January. He's now issued another executive order that is only 12 hours old. Well, 15 hours old. That executive order will take time to get sorted out to put in play. So you can't apply for anything right now. They have to decide this. They're going to have to define what an Afrikaner is, or they're going to have to extend it to all minorities in South Africa who've been oppressed. Because the bottom line is this, ladies and gentlemen, this applies to, at the moment, thank you, James, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. At the moment, it applies to anyone who is, where's it at here? For Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims, so not Afrikaners in Botswana or Namibia, Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. So they're going to have to define what an Afrikaner is to the U.S. government. All right? That's what's going to have to happen. All right? So that's important to understand. And I think they're going to have to extend it to all minorities. Thank you, Jenny, for becoming a member. Wow, people are really latching on the membership today. I appreciate that. Yep. Okay, what else? Trump the true hero, Ramaphosa the true bully. Yes. Baba says, I remain respectful, so I continue to respectfully disagree with your view on soft power. And that's why I haven't spanked you, Baba, because you're just making stuff up or you don't know what you're talking about. You're pushing leftist talking points. You can disagree with me on soft power. Give me an example where soft power has benefited the United States. Hollywood? People think ridiculous notions of America. They have no idea what they're talking about. Is Rob Hershoff here? Rob Hershoff lived in the States. Some of you live in the States. What you see in Hollywood and what you see in television is not America. The Jersey Shore and the Kardashians are not America. Thank you, cool, for becoming a member. Portuguese South Africans, whites are victims as well. Tony, I've talked about that repeatedly. There are 400,000 Portuguese South Africans. Yep, I've talked about that. Some have been there for a long time. Many came after 75 from Angola specifically, and a small number came also from from Mozambique. Tony has just given $2 super chat from Canada. Thank you for that. All right, now let me go and tell you about this information. This is from Ernst van Zyl, the conscious clerical working for AfriForum. The government is now trying to lie to the world and lie to South Africans, and your media is covering up, claiming that it's not nil compensation. No one will have their property confiscated. But listen to these comments that have been compiled by Ernst van Zyl. And this isn't from 2000 or 1994 or 1975. In 2018, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the ANC had officially, I'm going to turn that off for a few minutes, just sorry, very quickly here, the alert box, just for a couple minutes. In 2018, President Ramaphosa announced the ANC had officially resolved to amend the Constitution to explicitly allow for land expropriation without compensation. In 2021, this amendment to Section 25 failed to pass the National Assembly because the EFF wouldn't vote for it. Main reason was because the EFF demanded that it must be enable full state custodianship of property, while the ANC only wanted to propose that the state custodianship be applicable to certain land within the context. AfriForum warned that the fight to defend property rights is not over by a long shot, as did I. In December of 2021, after an attempt to amend the Constitution failed, then Minister of Justice, now Foreign Minister Ronnie Lamola, stated changing the Constitution was just one instrument we could have used. The matter is now ended. We will now use our simple majority to pass laws that will allow for expropriation without compensation. He was referring to the expropriation bill. Ramaphosa echoed these sentiments when he stated in January 2022 address that the ANC will implement its resolution on the expropriation of land without compensation despite the refusal of other parties in parliament. The expropriation bill, which Ramaphosa signed into law, he says 2025, but we believe it's actually December 20th of 2024, was published and gazetted in October 2020. This bill now enables expropriation with nil compensation, which is simply another way of saying no compensation. The act empowers any state organ or department to expropriate any property at the national, at the provincial, or at the municipal level. This power is not limited to land, it is property. In the past week, many legal experts and analysts tried to gaslight the public by arguing that nil compensation does not mean no compensation. The ANC, however, have been crystal clear about what they mean to understand nil compensation. In 2024, Deputy President Paul Mashatile reaffirmed the government's commitment to expropriation of land without compensation, specifically through the use of the Expropriation Act. On the matter of without compensation and nil compensation regarding the Expropriation Act, the Deputy President said that the intention was the same and the difference was wording. It may well be that you have issues with the wording thereof, but the intention is to achieve exactly that we need to expropriate land without compensation where applicable. He continued, we will use the words in the act that we should expropriate land if it's in the public interest. The issue of nil compensation I will look at, but my sense is nil compensation is that you don't pay. That's what the Deputy President said while this process was going on. In an address by Ramaphosa at the ANC Manifesto Review at rally in 2023, the matter of expropriation, enabling expropriation without compensation, was again emphasized. We will pass the expropriation bill. We will grant the state the authority to expropriate land for public purposes or interests and establish that nil or 0 rand compensation will be deemed just and equitable in accordance with the law. We have the receipts, ladies and gentlemen. We have the proof that the ANC and the media in South Africa are lying to you. They are lying to you. Absolutely lying to you. They are bald-faced liars. They are propagandists of the highest order. Yeah, the mainstream media are just liars. And I'm going to run through the articles here on the lies they tell about America. Ronnie Lamola criticizing America for kicking out migrants. We're not kicking out migrants. We're kicking out criminal alien invaders who violate our sovereignty. Thousands of them, 686,000 convicted felons. Not shoplifters, not traffic transgressors, not people who, I don't know, they broke a fence. No, these are rapists, murderers, pedos. Unbelievable. All right, found you here thanks to Pumla. Okay, cool, Marcel. Personally think they should conclave and come out either Dem or Republic. Okay, everyone is claiming to be Afrikaner now. Yeah, because they want to ride the gravy train, exactly. Need to know the GNU has taken land from all races. Exactly. It's not just land, guys. It's not just land. I have been saying this for year after year after year. Now people are starting to listen. It's property. That's what the Constitution says. You got to understand what your Constitution says, South Africa. I don't know why people don't understand it, but let me just put it up on the screen for you. It's very clear about the Constitution. Section 25 of the Constitution says exactly what is going on here. This is what Section 25 says. All right, so let me get this up on the screen. And I will make this very clear for everybody. Many of you know this already. You've seen this. Property is not limited to land. Specifically states in Section 25, paragraph 2B, property is not limited to land at the bottom. But under the Constitution, you can expropriate if it's for public purpose or the public interest, but it's subject to compensation, and that must be just and equitable. Just and equitable. By the way, South Africa is not eligible for AGOA because of their actions, because under AGOA, you must have a market-based economy that protects private property rights. When you abrogate private property rights, you have violated the law. Now, the law is applicable to you, but if you violate the law, then we don't have to let you be in it. And that's the bottom line here. And that's the issue here is you're no longer eligible for AGOA. Get ready for suspension from AGOA, which will hurt South Africans. And maybe that's why Trump hasn't put it in play yet, because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. What else? Minority youth engineers. Okay, what's that? Dale von Straten says, I can't believe that all these South Africans are moaning about Trump taking interest. Load shedding, Guptas, they're cowards who hide behind racism. Exactly. Jose De Silva says, Rob Hersoff, you must have very good contacts in the States. Remember just over a week ago, you stated something big was going to be announced in the States the following week. Yep, so did I. So I warned you it was coming. I personally think this order has more to do with the claim the ANC is aiding Iran. Well, and that's you're very astute there, William. You're very astute. That's a good point. But your argument would have a lot of weight if there wasn't the decision by Trump to give refugee status to Afrikaners. If he hadn't done that, then your argument would be very clear that it was really about Iran. But the fact that he gave refugee status to Afrikaners and no country in the world is doing that to my knowledge, although people said Russia was doing it, but it wasn't en masse. But the fact that the world's most important democracy is actually doing it is huge. South African radio news continually telling us how bad the U.S. and Trump are. Well, they can go shove it. They don't know what they're talking about. Expropriation with compensation is also a problem. Who determines what's the best interest of people? Exactly, Anne-Marie. It is a problem. Look at the Ackerland farm, the Ackerland brewery. They're trying to claim that, well, that it's all distraction. I discussed that in the other videos. I told people, I said, look, this whole story about Ackerland brewery, they're like, well, no, but the News 24 story, well, they weren't expropriated. In fact, they got 4 times what the government was going to pay them. Yes, because the government lowballed them at $20 million, and the coal company, in cahoots with the government, forced them to sell. Otherwise, they would have got nothing. So yeah, they got 80 million. So what? They don't have their game ranch anymore, and all those people don't have jobs. And oh, by the way, Coal of Africa is now MVN Limited or something like that, and their board is full of Chinese. Watch that video. Watch that video. No, I don't think allies will similar program. New Zealand and Australia are not allies. They're opponents. Once upon a time, they were allies, but they're opponents now. They're run by leftists. You must see the comments of black people on social media. They're literally screaming for whites to leave. They have no idea the impact. Heidi, I'm not listening to that garbage. I'm trying to bring people the facts. I predicted that's what's happening. I also told white South Africans and coloreds and Indians, lay low, because you're going to be targeted. You're going to have a wackadoodles that feel empowered to go attack people. Keith van Yarsveld is 55-year-old white male. My options are limited. I don't get to that and no opportunities. If we're granted refugee status, how would one get there and who would hire us? Well, Keith van Yarsveld, we can't find people to work in this country. Americans have grown fat and lazy as a consequence of COVID and the handouts. And we have unbelievably low unemployment, but we have lots of jobs vacant and people's work ethic has gone to crap. So if you have a good work ethic, you'll get a job. Refugees are allowed to work. Asylum seekers are not. Just wondering, EWC Act, in my opinion, with the NHI bill on the table, how easy it will be to expropriate private hospitals. Very easy. It's in the public interest. Gone. Private clinics, gone. But then you can't make the doctors work there, so you'll have nobody to work the place. He's a puppet, yes. What about Afrikaans pensioners? Okay, Cyrus. Okay, again, I covered this last night, so you probably weren't here. Folks, refugee status has nothing to do with your employment. If you're granted refugee status, we don't give a flying flip whether you a space architect or an engineer, a floor mopper, a farmer, metal worker. No one cares. We also don't care if you're 2 or 92. We don't care if you're able or physically unable. That has no bearing on it unless you're being discriminated against for those reasons. Refugees are Homo sapiens who are being oppressed. Simple as that. So that's how it works. Again, I feel really sad for people who feel they got to leave, but I understand where people are coming from. Anita Carobna says, I'm proud of the Colonel. The racism musters have been going on since 94. It's high time the country has been landed a bunch of, yep. Must not cry when people defend themselves. Well, yeah, Kurtz, I hear you. Okay, what else you got here? They'll steal everything blind. Well, they've been doing that for 31 years, especially for 15. Fang Wan Wannabe, thanks for answering about the allies. Then I'm super grateful for what Trump did. Yeah, no, New Zealand and no, England, UK, United Kingdom, no, they're not doing anything. Only the United States is doing something. In fact, these countries are lining up against us. The Netherlands, a NATO ally, has lined up against us, whining that we're sanctioning the International Criminal Court. Ackerland case was won by the owner. Costs and caters, apparently all the costs have still not been paid. Yeah, the case was won, Jose, but they sent the letter like almost on a weekend. They had no money. They had to get help. They finally got help from AfriForum, who stepped in. And that was one case. Imagine when they do that on 40 properties simultaneously. Nobody has the money to cover that. Nobody has money. 6,000 jobs in car industries are jeopardy if AGOA gets scrapped. I don't know if it's 600,000. I don't even think there's 600,000 jobs, but there are definitely jobs that are at risk in the wine industry, in many industries, in tourism. Yep. What is this? Afro what? Opted for the mutual destruction option, but they didn't know. I have no idea what you're talking about there, homopathy. Okay. Embassy in Pretoria just published Trump's statement. Things are in motion. What do you mean the embassy just published it? Okay. On their website, USEMBASC, Pretoria. Okay, here we go. USEMBA Pretoria. Okay. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Marco Rubio, Black History Month, U.S. Mission. What do they publish? Emergency. Oh, there it is. There. Oh, the waiver. Okay. Okay. It's on the website. Okay. Well, it doesn't say anything. It tells you he's giving the waiver. That's all. Purpose of carrying out the president's executive order and reevaluating reliance on foreign aid. That's not it. That's nothing. No, that's the emergency. I don't see what you're talking about. I'm on the website. Don't know where you're getting that from. I'm on the website. Anyway. All right. Emergency information for American citizens. All right. So I'm still young. I can still take Sylvester Stallone. It's been a while. You can even earn $20 an hour in USA as waitress or cleaning houses or working at McDonald's. You're welcome, Bert. Why have you been ignoring me? William Thundervault, it's the first time I've seen a message from you. Have you been putting at Colonel Chris Wyatt? I haven't seen it. And PinC777 gave a super chat. Violence is a supreme authority from which all other authorities are derived. Jean Rashik, Starship Trooper. Radicek. Radicek Strangers, yeah. Yeah, Radicek, yep. All right. Yep, Starship Troopers, good stuff. The Australian government said they're looking at cutting funds to South Africa as well. We'll see. Don't hold your breath. I would never go to the UK. I hear you, Matt. Lynn Olafira says, thank you for what you do for us. Michael Holmes says, billionaire class are ruining the economy in the U.S. You guys need more public transport infrastructure in Texas. How do you respond to that? There's no facts there. It's just supposition and nonsense. Thank you for your input there, Michael. $20 an hour, $160 a day for 22 weeks is $3,500. You will starve on that. Well, no, not necessarily. Arctic, you won't starve on that if you live in West Virginia. Nope. Hey, Andre Zedette is back. Happy that you have a president that's actually doing what he promised. Yeah, he's doing exactly what he promised. And everything belongs to everyone. Okay, what else we got here? I'm trying to jump ahead. Tracy says, can't understand how people can't see this expropriation as flat out state capture. Yep, I'm ready to help make America great again. Thank you. About you all join the U.S. military. Well, you got to be the right age and be fit, not have a criminal record, yada, yada, yada. Okay. $100,000, you won't be okay in Manhattan, Arctic. See, you got to quit giving fake news there. $100,000 won't work in San Francisco, not unless you're a street bum. $100,000 will work here, central Pennsylvania, but not everywhere. All right. West Virginia, Arkansas, both great states, both super cheap. Yep. Okay, all right. So, folks, if you want to ask Chris a question, you have noticed. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Renell, for telling me. That doesn't mean I'll see it, though, but thank you. All right. How can the Afrikaner whites and squatter camps benefit from refugee status? Our people are broken and bleeding and lost everything. Well, they can benefit immediately as soon as the information is put out on how to apply for it. Okay, all right. Here we go. So here we go. Let's get to what I want to share with you. So the South African government has responded to President Trump's executive order, and their response is predictable. Business Tech says they're responding. So the South African government has strongly rejected the recent executive order issued by Donald Trump. You know what? You can reject it all you want. It's none of your damn business. It's our executive order. It applies to the U.S. So, you can shove it there, ANC government, which outlines plans for resettlement. The Department of International Relations and Cooperation, DIRCO, under Ronnie Lamola, expressed deep concern over the order, criticizing it as factually inaccurate and reflective of a misleading narrative about South Africa's history and socioeconomic landscape. No, Ronnie Lamola is a bold-faced liar. Yep, bold-faced liar. Yep, it's not misrepresented. It's a statement of fact. The department noted at this point that such narratives have seemingly influenced decision-makers in the United States. Yeah, well, that's because we're informed. Anyway, let me see. What else did he say here? President Ramaphosa's office issued a response, which I couldn't find anywhere online, underscoring that South Africa remains a constitutional democracy governed by the rule of law. Except it's not. It's not. Murderers get out of prison after 7 years. That's not the rule of law. Most crimes go unpunished. That's not the rule of law. And the ANC is full of thieves. $560,000 stuffed in the sofa by Munir Palapala. That's not been resolved. And I don't want to hear the parliament cleared him because that was of ethics charges, not of criminal charges. What about Zandile Gumeda, Ace Magashule, Paul Mashatile? The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Now we got the musical chairs minister who's in charge of human settlements, Tembe Similani. It just goes on and on and on and on. Zweli Mkhize, all but convicted. Unbelievable. And Jacob Zuma, all but convicted. Unbelievable. All right, so there you go. That's from Business Tech. Trump order heightens the risk that South Africa will be excluded from AGOA. Oh, I'll turn back on hang on a second there. Alert box is back on. Trump order heightens the risk that South Africa be excluded from AGOA. Well, yeah, this is coming from News 24, and they're correct. And I've warned you, I think Rob Hersoff has probably warned you too, that this is a very real possibility, ladies and gentlemen, a very real possibility. South Africa's prospects for remaining preferential trading partner are significantly worsened on Saturday. You're damn skippy about that. While the order affects about $439 million of aid, which will have implications for the fiscus, which will need to plug the gap in HIV/AIDS program, the bigger problem will be the loss of membership of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, which now looks likely. South Africa exports about $3 billion worth annually under AGOA, which allows tariff-free entry into the U.S. I've been saying $2.3 billion, but that figure is higher. I had an old figure. Trevor Bezuidenhout says ANC doesn't want white people to get ahead. Of course they don't. African Idiot says, at AfriForum, new briefing today, at least Jan van Riebeck is getting a break. AfriForum is getting all the blame now. Yeah, and Hendrik Verwoerd is not getting blamed either. So the toilet paper of record, the Independent Line, reports that South Africa hits back at Trump's executive orders refugee offer for economically privileged Afrikaners. You see the stereotype racist bullshit that's going on here? Economically privileged Afrikaners. Does that include the people in squatter camps on the north side of Pretoria who are Afrikaners? Remember during lockdown when SABC went around with their idiotic reporter, he walked around squatter camps outside Pretoria, and he walks up to these dirt poor Afrikaners, don't even have shoes, walk around in the dust out there, and kids running around with snot on their face and their hair unkept and little tin shacks, just like in Soshanguve, just north of there. And he says, is there a reason why you don't let black people into this camp? Are you racist? the dude's like, what? Yeah. Economically privileged Afrikaners. Really? So you're denied a bursa because, you're white. You get the highest matric score in your school, but you can't get into UCT because you're white. You can't get government contracts, which are half the economy, because you're white. You can't do this because you're white. You can't do that because you're colored. You can't do this because you're Indian. Stop. This is just a bunch of scumbag nonsense from Iqbal Survey's propaganda site. Sile Malambu, you ought to be ashamed of yourself if you wrote this title. If you didn't write the clickbait title, then your editor should be ashamed of himself. Unbelievable. The South African government of Pretoria has hit back at U.S. President Donald Trump and his executive orders, which were issued on Friday, slamming Washington for being engaged in a campaign of misinformation and propaganda. That's exactly what the ANC and the media, captured media in South Africa, engage in, misinformation and propaganda. Yep. Pretoria slams Washington. In a statement on Saturday, little Ronnie Lamola, the international relations minister, said, it is of great concern that the foundational premise of this order lacks factual accuracy and fails to recognize South Africa's profound and painful history of colonialism and apartheid. We don't give two shits about your history of colonialism and apartheid. This isn't about colonialism and apartheid. This is about racial discrimination and racist laws that South Africa's enacted. That's what it's about. Are you not clear on that, Ronnie Lamola? I don't give a shit what happened in 1622 or 1327 or 1942. This has nothing to do with that. Thank you, Helen, for becoming a member. This has everything to do with your racial discrimination against people. It was bad when a minority oppressed the majority. It was impressive, not in a good way, but it was bad. But when a majority oppresses a minority and then blames them and claims this is what they did to the Jews, this is what they did to the Sinti, this is what they did to the Roma, this is what they did to gays. This is what they always do. Blame a minority. Wow. We are concerned by what seems to be a campaign of misinformation propaganda aimed at misrepresenting our great nation. It's disappointing to observe that such narratives seem to have found favor among decision makers in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, I will ask this question again for the 1,000th time. If there is no such thing as expropriation without compensation, which is what they're trying to claim now. The bill is called expropriation without compensation. That's what they called it. So if there is no such thing as expropriation without compensation, why did you call it that? And why the need for the law? Well, because the land has to be expropriated because historical injustice. You see how they do this? This sleight of hand. Historical injustices are a painful history. But that's not the argument you're making. The argument you made is you need to take the land because there's vacant land that's disused. No one's using it. It's unproductive. So we need this mechanism to expropriate it and not pay people for it. That's the argument they made. That's why they said the law exists. Now they're complaining about the painful history of colonialism. No. Here's the lie. Here's the facts. I'll expose the lie. The fact is this, ladies and gentlemen. The government of South Africa, under the willing buyer, willing seller program, has purchased 3.9 million hectares of land since they took over. Dispute that. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You can't, because it's true. 3.9 million hectares at a cost, I thought, of 29 billion, but I see the number's been updated. It's 58 billion rand. They stole more than that during the frickin' COVID scam. I mean, the World Bank, the IMF, the African Development Bank, and the New BRICS Bank gave them $5.6 billion. That's almost 100, that's 90 billion rand. Where'd that go? Where'd that go? That's the money they got in a loan in the loans in the summer of 2020 during the COVID scam is more money than they spent in 22 years buying farmland. Why, if land is such an important issue, didn't they take that money and buy land? You're not going to tell me it isn't available. There's tons of land available in South Africa. It's bullshit. It's lies. It's propaganda. And it's not coming from here. It's not coming from me. It's coming from the media in South Africa. It's coming from academics in South Africa. It's coming from white liberals in South Africa. And it's coming from the ANC government. And oh, by the way, where's the Democratic Alliance in all this? Could somebody please, hello, would the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Could somebody please find the real Slim Shady? Who is the DA? Part and parcel of the National Democratic Revolution, or are they defenders of the Constitution? Wow. Wow. We'll get to the DA in just a few moments, and we'll show you how castrated they are, how neutered they are. The government says that Trump's executive order lacks factual accuracy. Well, so do all the statements from the African National Congress lack factual accuracy. So there you go. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order cutting aid to South Africa, citing alleged race-based discrimination against Afrikaners and aggressive positions towards U.S. Alleged? What, alleged? Are you freaking high? Alleged positions? So you're not aware, News 24, that the U.S. supports Israel? You're not aware that the U.S. looks with disdain, even under Biden, at the illegitimate genocide case taken by South Africa to the International Criminal Court of Justice? You're not aware of that? How is it alleged? These people are disgraceful. This isn't news. This is propaganda. It's propaganda. You may disagree with the U.S.'s view, but the view is clear. It's clearly articulated and stated. So don't put alleged positions. They are positions. The South Africa refused to censor Russia when it invaded Ukraine. That's not alleged. They didn't vote in favor of the resolution. That's not alleged. That's factual. South Africa sent delegation after delegation to Russia. They continue to trade with Russia. They bring Russian defense contractor ships into their naval port in Simonstown, even though the ship is censored and sanctioned by the West. They don't care. They hold naval exercises with Russia in the middle of a war. Russia's at war and they're holding a naval exercise. Alleged positions, there's nothing alleged here. It's factual. Absolutely factual. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, my goodness. News 24 editors take. Let's see what. Oh, is this Adrien Basson?
Andy Siwa, I do want to move on to this issue
Let's see what Adrien Basson has got to say.
Of foreign relationships. South Africa has always tried since the Mandela days to play all the sides. We are non-aligned. We are friends with Saudi Arabia and with America, with China, and with the EU.
No, you're not friends with America. You keep pissing in our cornflakes and telling us that it's just milk, not piss. Twice this week, Cyril Ramaphosa intentionally insulted Donald Trump and America. On Thursday at the State of the Nation address, we won't be bullied. Why was that in your speech? How about a little humility and just shut your mouth? No, you gotta poke the bear. We won't be bullied. Like nobody knew who you were talking about. You're not being bullied. We're simply not going to give away money anymore. You're not in line with our national interest. And it's stupid. I mean, that's the definition of stupidity. Giving money to people who actively work against your national interest, that's moronic. That's what America's been doing for decades under successive presidents, including Trump in his first term, because he didn't pay close enough attention to this. So you're not a friend of the United States, the ANC anyway. Heidi says, I'm so glad you guys now see what I'm talking about. America just gives, you guys now, okay, stop. Heidi, I'm going to stop you right there. You guys now see. Stop painting me with some bullshit brush that other people have. I have been saying this for decades, inside the intelligence community, inside the U.S. government, and since I've been doing this for 5 years. You guys now see. Bullshit. I don't now see. I've always seen. Ask anybody that's watched my program. Ask anybody that's read my stuff. All right? That's
The ICJ case, the fact that we went to the International Court of Justice against Israel, who is a big ally of the United States, was of the democratic government and is.
What are you going on about homopathy? How can you refute News 24 articles without proving your proof of their inaccuracies? Keep it up. I haven't banned anybody in this stream. You're cruising for bruising. You're going to sit there and be combative. Nothing. You don't like what I have to say? Homopathy? Then foot sec. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. I remember you. You were a troll before. In fact, you know what? You're getting a timeout just because you're being an ass. I don't need this nonsense today. We're trying to do something constructive here. Where are you at? Ten minutes. There you go. Grow up and come back and behave like an adult. I'm just glad this is happening while we have other streams on Biased News to make decisions on and not propaganda machine. The media should be ashamed of themselves. They should be. LMC said they weren't giving money to ANC. They were giving money to advance international humanitarian efforts. LMC, I don't know what you're responding to. Is it something somebody said in the chat? And who is they? Are you talking about the U.S. government? I never claimed the U.S. government gave money to South Africa. That you're talking about. There is money that's given to South Africa. It's a very small amount. Almost all the aid goes to third parties. Peter Schlechter, thank you for joining us. So I'm not sure if you're responding to me or someone else. We shouldn't need to beg to be everyone's friends. Exactly. Answer why DA is doing what they're doing. DA leader John Cena now earns close to $2.7 million. Okay, maybe that's an answer. I don't know if that's why, but that's a fair argument. How can I get my daughter out of this country for a better life? Shelly, I don't know your situation. I don't know how old is your daughter? How old are you? Where do you want to go? Do you want to take advantage of this program if it comes to fruition, which apparently it's going to be? I don't have an answer on that because the program is currently frozen. The executive order from January 20th froze the refugee resettlement program. This order is specifically not for the world, but just for Afrikaners in South Africa. And it says, let them come here and put them in priority. So something has to change, and it's Saturday. Nothing has changed. Arctic said there was something posted on the U.S. Embassy website. I went to the website. I don't see anything. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Don't let them get under your skin. Oh, they're not getting under my skin. I'm just not going to play the games here. I blocked them. Wait for U.S. State Department. There you go. There's the good advice. That's what I've been telling people. Thank you for that, Arctic. Thank you for moderators and those who've listened to this already and you're explaining to people. Just wait for the State Department issue guidance. It's not going to happen. Okay. Van Josveld says you're very constructive. Thank you for that. Yeah, he was a troll before, so he's gone. Should run for position of government. Your knowledge makes up 1,000%. Well, Jerry, I ran for the legislature here in Pennsylvania last year, and dirty politics and underhanded nonsense. I spent a small fortune of my life savings to get elected and didn't win. So anyway, Esme says, appreciate your platform. Thank you so much for that. Chris wants to be your child godfather. Please, my family needs this. Thank you, says Taya. You said that it's dumb for the USA to be giving money to countries that are working against interests, but the money was meant for political efforts like reducing infectious disease. Okay, let me explain to you. LMC, you make a very good point, LMC. Sometimes LMC comes with good points. Let me explain why it's dumb, okay? Let me explain why it's dumb, okay? I get which point you're making now. It's dumb because if we give South Africa $8.1 billion, not the country, but NGOs and contractors over 22 years to fight HIV, that means that the government of South Africa didn't have to do jack squat. They didn't have to spend the $8 billion. We did. So the government of South Africa can steal money from school books, textbooks in the Eastern Cape, not build ablution units for toilets and have pit latrines, and steal money from hospitals like Charlotte McKexing and let it fall apart. So they can steal all that money because they don't have to worry about spending the money on HIV or the other things because we're doing it. So it's stupid of us to enable the South African government to get away with not delivering for their country, especially when the government of South Africa took credit for the money we gave. Do you see the ANC running around before this whole conversation going, oh, the Americans are so wonderful for us? You'll see a local newspaper article here and there, and you might hear a minister now and then talk about it. But by and large, most South Africans are completely ignorant of the fact that we spend all this money in South Africa or in Botswana or in Namibia or in the Cameroon. All these places. So LMC, specifically to your point, my point is that we have enabled South Africa by abrogating that responsibility for the government of South Africa, which is their responsibility. So now that we won't spend $500 million a year, either those services won't be delivered or they're going to have to find the money somewhere else. And then they'll get the blame for their failure to deliver, which is what I'm talking about. Understood. Okay, LMC, we're tracking. Thank you. LMC and I don't agree on a lot of things, so it's good to see we understand each other in this one. Well, with the rate of RAND goes, I have a bunch of RAND. They're not going to be worth squat now. It's about time ANC has been exposed. Yeah, well, I've been exposing them for years, but YouTube has censored my channel for years. Arctic says, there it is. Okay, thank you. Oh, he paid to get the statement in there. All right, let me get it. Okay, that's just the executive order. Oh, Arctic, thank you for the 100 Rand. I appreciate that. But that's just the executive order. That's the same one that's on the White House page. It's the same one. So it's no different, dude. I thought you said they issued a statement. They just published the statement that Trump put out last night. That's all. Mike Ostois, I work for a charity that received aid funding to provide medical service for everything in HIV treatment plan except the meds, which the government got for free anyway. How does the government get it for free? Because the U.S. pays for it from another contractor. Dave said, well said, Chris. People do not see that the money given by the U.S. frees up money to disappear into the air. Exactly. Paid in rands will be worthless. That's true. America's like a big baby daddy paying. Yeah, exactly. We're paying child support for the world's kids. We're 5% of the world's population. Law number one in jungle. The weak get eaten. Okay. Paul Mack says, Chris, the voice of truth in a world full of untruths. Thank you for that. Paul Oosthuizen answered that question. All right, so I'm not really caught up. I missed some chat. I apologize. I can't get everything here, folks. I do appreciate it. Let me get back to some of the stories I want to cover here. So that's enough of Adrian Basson. So this is the toilet paper record from Sean Rahl, who sometimes writes good articles, but this is clearly BS. Donald Trump offers sanctuary to Afrikaners as he continues to peddle lies over South Africa's Expropriation Act. That's not true. That's not true. So this is listed as a news story, but that title is op-ed. That's not news. That's opinion. All right. Let me see what she's got to say. In a joint statement, including the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Helen Suzman, and the Desmond and Leah Tutu Foundation, South Africa's government executive are frequently deserving of fierce criticism, but Trump's assertions were dangerous. While Afrikaner Lobby Forum, AfriForum have denied influencers, Trump said, they said African National Congress leaders must bear full blame. Well, that's true. Well, there's nothing here. That's a clickbait title. She doesn't say anything that Trump said was untrue. So, like I said, she sometimes writes good stuff. So, this is a little more along the line. The Times Live gets a little more correct. They say the order to cut funding over land policy in ICJ case. They don't even talk about the refugee status for Afrikaners, which is interesting. They get the figure correct, $440 million in fiscal 23. Yep. So that's a brief story there. Now, the Democratic Alliance, ladies and gentlemen, your great hope of the Democratic Alliance. I'm not picking on them, but this is just who they are. So the DA had a press conference after expropriation with compensation was signed. They complained that they didn't know about it bitterly. Oh, we weren't informed. We found out through the press or through WhatsApp. They're upset about that, more so than they're worried about your property rights. Anyway, and their focus on that press conference was how they're going to win the 2026, 2027 municipal elections. They'll be the biggest party in South Africa. And they have a whole campaign. You can apply to be a counselor. Well, now they're admitting, without even realizing, they're admitting that they're just bitch boys for the ANC to execute the National Democratic Revolution. And here it is. Today's release from the DA. The DA was blocked and censored in the Durko Committee on the G20. In a sitting of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on International Relations today, the focus on South Africa's G20 preparations, committee chairperson Supra Mahumpelo repeatedly blocked and censored Democratic Alliance committee members from disputing his non-sanctioned and deeply problematically partial remarks on South African foreign policy. In sheer abuse of his authority as committee chairperson, he imparted his personal worldview onto the committee in a 20-minute-long opening dialogue, which he presented as a formal committee position on foreign policy. When DA members raised these matters to contest his position and make an alternative proposal, the chairperson, with the help of ANC Umkhonto we Sizwe committee members, blocked the DA from disputing the remarks made, including those echoed in a series of press releases supposedly issued in the name of the committee. So the DA is realizing that they are nobodies. They have no say in this government. John Stevenson, thank you, Fang, for your membership. The DA says that they are in the government to keep it on track and that they were pleased that the president talked about all their policy positions. You have no power here. You blew your chance. And that's unfortunate. Unfortunate by the DA. AfriForum has responded to this. I read some of the comments from Ernst von Sale earlier in his article. in which we have the receipts for every time the ANC has been talking, well, not every time, but many times that they've said that it means zero. We're not going to pay anybody. We're going to take the land because we can. That's basically what they said over the past 4 or 5 years. So AfriForum has responded, and they appreciate that Donald Trump points out injustice against Afrikaners. However, Afrikaners' future lies in Africa. Yep. AfriForum emphasized the executive order that President Trump issued yesterday regarding the position of Afrikaners in South Africa is a direct result of President Ramaphosa and his government's irresponsible actions and policies. AfriForum expressed its great appreciation for Trump and the U.S.'s recognition of the injustice to which Afrikaners are subjected in South Africa. However, the Civil Rights Organization and its sister institutions in the Solidarity Movement remain committed to Afrikaners' future at the southern tip of Africa and insist that urgent solutions must therefore be found for the injustices committed by the South African government against Afrikaners and other cultural communities in the country. And notice once again, AfriForum doesn't just speak up for Afrikaners. It speaks up for other cultural communities like the Basotho and the Xhosa and the Tswana. So, the price to leave the country would be too high, says Kali. Yep. On Friday, okay, the order, well, hang on. Kali said that together with the trade union solidarity, they appreciate the recognition, but the price would be too high. And that's what AfriForum has to say. The Freedom Front Plus, for its part, issued a statement by party leader, Minister of Correctional Services, Dr. Peter Groenewald, often a frequent guest on my program. And he said the Freedom Front Plus has been warning the ANC for the past 30 years that its policy directions, which threaten private property rights, among other things, will cost South Africa dearly, particularly with regard to international trade and investments. South Africa should resolve its own problems, but cannot ignore the impact its policy has on foreign relations. The Freedom Front Plus welcomes the pressure that President Trump's executive order puts on the South African government to review the Expropriation Act, but its unintended consequences could be disastrous. Vulnerable South Africans will bear the brunt of President Trump's executive order to cut all financial assistance. Land grabs are already taking place, and the law's provisions of zero compensation, along with the ANC and other parties' irresponsible populist statements, create an environment where large-scale violations of property rights could occur. And that's what the Freedom Front Plus has to say. At least they're standing up for your property rights, as is AfriForum. But the Democratic Alliance doesn't even have a press release about Trump's statement last night. The Democratic Alliance finds himself screwed, blued, and tattooed. Ladies and gentlemen, the DA is in a blue fog, an absolute blue fog. That's where they're at. They are in a blue fog. They are completely lost. They have no idea what to do, which way to turn. They couldn't possibly come up with a statement that anybody gives a flying flip to listen to. And it's sad. It's truly sad. There's no need for the DA to be in this situation. It's a self-inflicted wound. It's an own goal. It's so sad to see. And I'm just going to give you what it looks like at DA headquarters, wherever that's at. I don't know where their headquarters is at. But this is what it looks like at DA headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the DA is right now, in a blue fog. Meanwhile, at Democratic Alliance headquarters, no one can see what the hell is going on because they are so lost. Their blue machine is in a blue fog. Blue fog. Blue fog. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. That's what they're telling the ANC. I'm hooked on a feeling. The DA is hooked on a feeling with their swap and spit loving partners in the ANC. It ain't happening, folks. Blue Machine is in trouble. Is this Kali speaking for himself or all of us? Because some of us don't think so. Kali is speaking for AfriForum and Solidarity. Maybe not for all of its members, but he's speaking for them. The blue fog, there's no BE partner on the left. Yeah, we can play some Jessie J here, right? You know, not Jessie J. What's her name there? Coconut Man. Oh my goodness, the DA is the blue fog. That's how much effect they have in government. Yep. Trump freezes aid to South Africa, Al Jazeera reports, amid spat over land expropriation law. Trump's executive order comes after South African President Ramaphosa said his country would not be bullied. Well, that was a mistake. Yes, that was a mistake. Big time. South Africa's taking aggressive positions. This is actually an objective article. The Al Jazeera, which has a bad habit of reporting bogus information on the UK and the United States, is actually reporting pretty accurate information right there. I'll be in favor of Trump helping South Africa split, negotiate independence. See, this is why I'm saying we need to spread the truth and also need support for people who speak the truth. Well, I'm trying. When you sell out, you are screwed. Exactly. Steve Eisen must protect his position and salary as agriculture minister. Well, if that means his party is screwed, that's messed up. Do you think China will come to the ANC rescue? No, Fang Wan, it will not. And even if it does, it won't come at the same level, and it won't be as effective as American assistance. Because Americans can go to jail for dealing in bribes and for dealing in criminal activity. The Chinese will look the other way. In fact, they encourage bribes amongst their companies. So Arctic wants gives American English lessons there. Okay, ANC will double down. It's exactly stinky. That's what I said. I said last night they won't be humble. And what happened? See, I beat the ANC because it happened on our time. I'm 7 hours ahead. So I was broadcasting 11 o'clock last night, 6 a.m. South African time about this. We had 30-some thousand people tune in for that. Thank you for that. That was pretty awesome. Many of you were here. Rian Lemprecht, thank you for your subscription. Yeah, China hasn't rescued Zimbabwe. All they've done is pilfer, their minerals. China is not going to rescue South Africa, and if they do, it won't be as effective as our aid. They'll build things and keep ownership of it. The sad fact is ANC voters hear what they can take land, and when they do, the police will not interfere. ANC's not bullied, they are reprimanded. They're spanked. Spanked. Anyway, so there you go. All right, let me get back to some of the stuff here. We got 944 people currently here, 500 likes. Can you push that like number up, folks? Please do that. I'm doing this very low compensation, $33 in super chats.
That was easy.
I make a lot of money per hour for consulting. Speaking of which, I got a consulting gig coming up in a few weeks at the Army War College. Yep. So, all right, let me read to you once again for those who aren't aware of it. This is the executive order, which Arctic put the link in there. But that's just the same thing you can get from the White House. I prefer to get it from the original source rather than the embassy. It doesn't tell you what the program is going to do. So here's the executive order from Trump. I'll read the critical parts of this. I'm a doctor currently employed. These clowns don't know what they're doing, doesn't care about employed doctors. They stole them. Yeah, Adele, I'm sorry to hear that. And gave us back. China doesn't care about anyone but China. Exactly. All right. This is what Trump wrote in his executive order last night. By the way, executive orders apply to America, to the executive branch. The executive branch has control over immigration and our borders. Therefore, they can apply to people coming in the country. But they don't apply to American citizens generally unless you work for the federal government. In shocking disregard of its citizens' rights, the Republic of South Africa recently enacted expropriation. Dave Duplessis became a member. Thank you for that. Thank you for your membership, Dave. Shocking disregard of citizens' rights. The Republic of South Africa recently enacted Expropriation Act 13 of 2024 to enable the government of South Africa to seize ethnic minority Afrikaners' agricultural property without compensation. This act follows countless government policies designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education, and business, and hateful rhetoric and government actions fueling disproportionate violence against racially disfavored landowners. In addition, South Africa has taken aggressive positions towards the United States and its allies, including accusing Israel, not Hamas, of genocide in the International Court of Justice, and reinvigorating relations with Iran to develop commercial, military, and nuclear arrangements. It is the policy of the United States, as long as South Africa continues these unjust and immoral practices that harm our nation, the United States will not provide aid or assistance to South Africa, and the United States shall promote the resettlement of Afrikaner refugees escaping government-sponsored race-based discrimination, including racially discriminatory property confiscation. And then it says for resettlement, direct the Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security to take appropriate steps consistent with the law to prioritize humanitarian relief, including admission and resettlement through the United States Refugee Admissions Program for Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. There you go. Yeah, I waited 30 years for a Western power to call it the ANC. It's finally happening. That's the biggest news here. After 30 years of a free pass for the good vibes from, the Rainbow Nation, South Africa's ANC is being called to account. Willy Liebenberg of the groups tried to backtrack, seems to have some sort of Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, somebody said AfriForum backtracked earlier. I didn't understand what they're talking about. I never got when South Africa faced sanction days, we had the numbers, elect to hold our own, but now there's nothing. There's no talent. Plus, you have no leverage. Grady Montasha said, they won't give us the money, we won't give them the minerals. Dude, you've got nothing that we have to have. We like the platinum. We can get it from South Africa. We don't need South Africa to platinum. We'll buy it on the market from a third party, or we'll get it elsewhere. Chrome, 100% of our chrome comes from South Africa, but we only get $31 million of chrome. That would fit on my property here, my little tiny lot. You could put crates of it around here, and that'd be $31 million worth of chrome. That's not much. It's barely used in America anymore. So, there's not much that you have that we need. We don't need Cape wine. We don't need biltong. We don't need Druvus. People make that crap here. I mean, stuff it here. It's not crap. Yeah. Yep. Independent Cape can be the Asian tigers. Yeah, Pablo, that could be possible. Astartes says, even if EWC enables the government to take ownership of everyone's property, I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that this is guised by ANC to execute their racist ideology. Yeah, well, I don't doubt that at all. Okay. Army War College sounds sinister? How does it sound sinister? How does it sound sinister? It sounds sinister? Where do you get that from? It sounds sinister. Okay, what else? The USA will soon have the best rugby teams. Yeah, that's what everybody was saying earlier. Well, it won't be the Stories. My goodness, what a terrible performance. All those kicks missed. How does Clayton Blomickies miss that kick right in front of the post at the end? Cost us the game. What's your opinion on Peter Zeihan's commentary? He's calling China's downfall in the next few decades due to various factors. I don't know who Peter Zeihan is, but I've been calling for it too. I've been telling you that China is not the colossus people made out to be. I have refuted every leftist lie about China's economy overtaking America that have been going on this century. Oh, China will overtake America by 2012, by 2015, by 2018, by 2019, by 2020, by 2023, by 2025. No. We're getting further apart. They got close, but they didn't quite catch us. They got to about 16 to 24 trillion. Now we're at 29 trillion and they're at 19. So, it's a bigger gap. China has all kinds of problems, environmental problems. They have a population pyramid that's out of whack. They have poverty that is persistent with hundreds of millions of people still live in poverty. They have a problem that almost all of the developed country is along a 50-mile, 80-kilometer deep belt from the ocean in. That's it. They built cities that no one lives in. They built infrastructure no one uses. They build electric cars and then they dump them in lots and let them rust because they just built them to make them. Incredible waste of resources because it's a command economy. They don't build for the marketplace except for overseas. China has all kinds of problems, And if you think the Chinese communists will be able to rule into perpetuity with their oppression, no, it'll come to an end one day. I don't know who that is, Carl Brown, but I probably agree with what that person's saying. Andre Fabillon says, thanks for all the information. Will there be any assistance for refugees? Yes, the Refugee Assistance Program, Emissions Program does help people. I don't know what extent you would get in this case. Oftentimes it does include stipends and lots of things. You get help for about a year, to relocate. But then you got to make it on your own. America's a dog-eat-dog world. You got to make it on your own. The handouts are ending here. We're taking that out. South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa owns McDonald's, business partner with Glencore. They own Astron. When do you think they get their fuel? I don't know. I thought they got it from Iran. I thought that oil came from Iran. I think Trump will be really able to implement any refugee program given obvious ANC disinformation. In fact, he's elected to lower immigration and Democratic caucus tendency. I have no idea what you're saying there, Mark, Alex. I think Trump will be able to implement? Yeah, of course he can implement it. It's under the president's control. The immigration program is under the president's control. He has total control over it. So he just froze it on January 20th, and now he's unfreezing for a class of South Africans. Adele says, respect to you. Well, thank you, Adele. It's very kind of you. Jonathan Thorburn, is the new refugee process for white South Africans worth it? Well, Jonathan, I can't answer that question. D.D. Berger, welcome to you. I'm saddened that people feel the need to leave, but I understand where some people are coming from. It's the oppression is unbelievable. It's horrible. And then the way you're taught to not value who you are, be ashamed of who you are, apologize for something you had nothing to do with, and the stereotypes about you. Yeah, I get that. The being targeted for crime. So it depends, if it's worth it. When I was in the mountains of North Carolina, the Western Carolina, I left Atlanta and drove up into Western North Carolina, short of where the Cherokee reservation is there. And I stayed in a Hampton Inn in a little town there. I forget the name of the town. This was 2004. It's when I got my Toyota 4Runner because I was coming back from the Caribbean. I'd left it in Miami, and that damn hurricane came. I was worried it was going to destroy my brand new truck. So got out of Miami, got up to Georgia as quick as I could, get away from the damn storms. And we went there. I stayed there. I stayed there and in a hotel, and I was talking to someone that was there in the evening because I think I needed a pillow or something was in the room, so they brought it to me and asked me a question, something like that. For some reason, I came up that was in the Army. I'm in the Army, and I said, "Yeah, I'm a specialist for Africa." Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we have a lady from Africa that works here." So I was curious. So the next morning, they said she makes the beds. She's from Africa. So, I mean, like a fool, I presumed Africa, because I don't know many white South Africans or white other Africans that have living in America. I didn't know almost none. So almost every African I knew, well, all Africans I knew were black or a few Arabs. So next morning, I saw one of the housekeepers said, "Oh, hey, sorry, last night they told me there's a lady who's a housekeeper here who's from Africa. Do you know who that is?" She goes, "Oh, that's me." I said, "Oh." She goes, "Yeah, I'm from Zimbabwe." So she got out, got asylum, and was working as a bed maid, making beds in a Hampton Inn in 2004 after escaping in 2002. And she was unbelievably grateful, unbelievably grateful. She said it was worth it because, they would have died. They would have died in Zimbabwe, she said. So I think I've answered that question. Okay. Of the groups that try to backtrack seems to have some sort of... Okay, I already read that. How do you get back to the same thing? Maybe shouldn't badmouth China too bad. It might affect my social credit score. It will. It will. Michael Ostois, remind me again of the two countries that have had nukes involuntarily disarmed. Wonder if Iran remembers. Bet the U.S. does. I only know of one country, and that's South Africa. Trump said you can come live in my home. Well, good luck with that. We have firearms in America. What happens to one's personal belongings if one decides to go to the USA? Surely can't just go with a suitcase and leave everything behind. Well, Blair Douglas, that's how it normally works for refugees, but this would be a different one. If you can pay to ship your stuff, you can ship it. Personal items can come in up to a certain value without duty. After that, you pay duty. South African with a phone. You made a good call correcting yourself. Boervorst is not... I didn't correct myself. That's an expression. When you say crap, it doesn't mean crap. So I didn't correct myself. I just did it because I knew people would post what you're posting there. I can't believe this crap. That doesn't mean it's crap. It's just stuff. Crap is a synonym for stuff in American English. If you're going to come here, you need to learn that. Capitalism is over? Really? I don't think so. What happens to your animals? Well, I understand that someone that's done this before says your pets can come with you. It's news to me. I didn't know that. People that decide to leave at least have a chance to start a new life, especially for your children. U.S. is a first world country. South Africa is off the map. We'll never return to first world country, says Beverly. Belisari says, Blair, that is how my family left Mozambique with just a suitcase and harassed all the way. Yep. Well, that's how my German ancestors were forced out of Central Europe, Eastern Europe. John von Rensburg is here. Okay. Eric is back. Hey, Eric, I just saw you pop in there. It's not the first time my family's seeking refugee status. Yep, you fled from the Congo, from Katanga. Even Timcast. Oh, please, spare me with Timcast. That guy, he's like Dan Corder with his beanie. I mean, they're not the same politically, but yeah. Second country that disarmed was Ukraine. Okay, Mike, that's fair, but that's because Russia and the United States betrayed them. They agreed to protect their security interests, and then the United States sat by while Russia invaded. We betrayed them. Andre Vandenberg, welcome to you. But they weren't really disarmed. They just took the weapons out of there and moved them to Russia. So it's not like the weapons went away. But yeah, technically you're right. No one understands how bad Zim got. I just want to ask, do you remember the white tents in South Africa? Oh, I remember how bad Zim got, Peaky. I was there when they were killing farmers in 2000. I was in Zimbabwe, driving around. From Vic Falls to Bulawayo to Masvingo and Great Zimbabwe and back again. Yep. Ray of Light subscribe. Thank you for that. Okay. YouTubers are getting arrested for saying patriotic, hateful things online, inciting the online crowd. Where? In the UK? In the UK? Blair says that makes sense. Okay. Is there a way to see what professions, careers the U.S. are looking for before you apply? Okay. I'm going to do this again. All right. Because clearly people are tuning in that haven't heard this. Let me share this with you all right now. Okay. I'll be very clear and let you know. This offer by Donald Trump is for refugee status, not for immigration. You would come to America, but you come to America as an immigrant. That's when you have to show you have skills and such. You don't have to show any skills. The United States Refugee Admissions Program is a way to come to the United States as a refugee. As a refugee, this is all you need. A refugee is someone who's located outside the United States. That would apply to people in South Africa. Is of special humanitarian concern to the United States. Donald Trump just identified the special humanitarian concern in his executive order, demonstrates that they were persecuted or fear persecution due to race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. That would be race. It would also be a particular social group. And nationality. Yep. Is not firmly resettled in another country. In other words, you didn't go to another country and now you want to come here. And is admissible to the United States. Admissible means somebody that is not a criminal, among other things. So, you do not have to prove any jobs. We don't care what job you have. We don't care if you don't care if you're a burden on our tax base. It's kind of very generous. Anyway, you can qualify for all kinds of benefits you wouldn't get otherwise. Refugees can come here and work. Asylum seekers cannot work. Refugees can. Okay. So does that answer the question, Timothy? They don't care what jobs. If you think you're going to get to the front of the queue because you got a master's in engineering and electrical engineering, it doesn't mean anything. You're no better than the person, or no worse than the person that it sweeps the floors at the restaurant. Husband was shot in the vehicle, hijacked. My sister was carjacked. Truly becoming a war zone. It is, Heather. Yep. The other country of voluntary was Ukraine. Got it. Well, the Budapest Agreement. Yep. Sanctions on Cuba are coming. Oh yeah. Cuba's going to get spanked too. Yep. Get ready for that. All right. So did I answer that question? So. Edward Dos Santos is back. Heidi Bradenbach. I believe it when I see it happening for real. Before we get too optimistic, we cannot make our country great because we are not allowed to work. We will work to help make America great. Francois says, fact is you don't understand sarcasm. You're likely to develop dementia. Well, I understand it. I use it a lot. Russia removed them because they were concerned. Yep. Okay. What happens to white English-speaking South Africans? Well, right now, Clifford, you're screwed. You don't qualify. You have to be an Afrikaner, which would include some black folks and some colored folks and some white folks. So right now, you just don't matter. But relax. This is going to... The ANC is not learning. So let me run through the steps. First off, they signed the damn order. And that's after Cyril Ramaphosa didn't bother to tell Trump that he was going to sign the order. And he congratulated him on his presidency. Then a few hours later, he signs the order in big fanfare and embarrasses America because America doesn't want that to happen. It also violates the AGOA Act. So that pissed Trump off. So he waits a few days, no backtracking. Then Trump, on February 2nd, sends out a message. We're not going to have any future aid for South Africa. We're going to do an investigation, and there's probably much more coming. So what does Ramaphosa do? Oh, America doesn't understand. Trump doesn't understand. Americans being misled by AfriForum, as if going on and on. So then on Thursday, State of the Nation address, Cyril Ramaphosa insults America. We won't be bullied. Really? Okay. You weren't being bullied. We just said we're not giving you free money. That's not bullying. We're pulling out of your affairs. And then on Friday, South Africa joins a group of 84 countries that are protesting the United States sanctioning International Criminal Court. We're not even members of the International Criminal Court. We have no obligation to them, but they're acting in a fashion contrary to global peace in the view of Donald Trump. So he sanctioned members of the court. Well, they don't come here. I mean, they live in The Hague. Why would they care about it? But South Africa chose to poke us in the eye again. That's 2 days in a row. Thursday, SONA. Friday, by taking a case against the United States. And on Saturday, today, they come out and say that it's misinformation, that the United States is wrong, Trump is lying. You really think that's going to enamor you with Trump? Do you really think that's going to improve the situation? The ANC is simply dumb as a box of rocks and making the situation worse. They make the situation worse every time they open their mouth. Bulawayo is my hometown, but we took the hour run and whoops, that jumped. I know Bulawayo, Carl. Okay. Makes me angry and sad that we even think of leaving our home. It's not right. I love this place. I'm with you there, buddy. I hear you. It's about time. ANC is very lucky to have the world at their feet after 94. Western world was allowed. Exactly. And I blame the Western world. I blame the UK. I blame the UK for the Lancaster House Agreement. Not that Rhodesia should have continued the fashion it was in, but that agreement was not a healthy agreement. All it did was ensure that Mugabe got to establish a kleptocracy because the UK simply washed their hands, and then they gave him $63 million that they pilfered to steal farms. Capitalism is over. Listen to some of Richard Wolff's videos. Explains the corporate feudalism system. Trump and Musk is... Oh, good God. Oh, my gosh. Corporate feudalism system. Please spare me. Spare me. No evidence of that whatsoever. Just bullshit speculation. Just like the crap earlier. Elon Musk, he's got all the. Well, he does that. He's directing payments. He's not directing any payments. He doesn't have access to that. How does the process go to work towards U.S. citizenship for a refugee? It is possible, Carmen. You have to meet the thresholds, like typically 5 years or something like that. If Arctic's still here, he knows because he went through a bunch of processes to get his visa to come over here. He's got a special skill. And he spent a buttload of money for lawyers to get over here. Those who come for refugee won't have to spend anything. Yep, you come over for free. You save all that money. Biden was one of the people that supported the ANC. Yep, I think most white people, including white English people, have different blood like me. Yeah, there you go. So there you can claim it. My daughter finished school with this. I think it's not going to make any distinction if you're white in particular, because you can prove that you're discriminated against, whether you're Afrikaner or not. I think the U.S. would be generous and let them in. So just to piss off a lot of other people. Do you know anything about the Rendlesham Forest? I do not, Dave. Where's that at? My daughter finished school with distinctions when she applied for university. First question in the application was, are you black? Exactly. Antoinette says, Chris, thanks for keeping on top of all this. It's my pleasure. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. We only got 669 likes. We can do better than that. Shawnee is back. There we go. Italy is winning 22-8. I picked Italy to win this game. That's good news. Since I picked the Stormers to win, I lost there. Can older people get refugee status? Yes. Handicapped people can get refugee status. It doesn't matter. Toddlers can get it. It doesn't require skills. It doesn't require age. It's refugee. Yeah. All right, cool beans. All right, so free money is free money. I have to sneak into Canada for top-notch health care. You're not dying from bike industry. Why do you have to sneak into Canada for top-notch health care? The health care sucks in Canada. They come here for quality health care. Just Jansa says, JHI, Chris. I don't know what that means, but hello to you. Okay, Audrey Deploy says the ANC doesn't target English schools, only Afrikaans schools. Well, how is that germane? The issue is not schools. The issue is discrimination. You think that English speakers in South Africa aren't discriminated against? Yeah. Who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. I think that fits a lot of people. Coral Forster says, I love you, Chris. What you're saying about the criminal, corrupted, incompetent, untrustworthy ANC government run pose a thief, liar. Thank you. What else? Don't Canada have all the drugs? No, they don't have all the drugs, Charles. We make the drugs, and they import them at discounted prices, and then they sell them at discounted prices, and the drug companies sell them for a loss or break even here, and then people flood across the border to buy them and undermine the drug market. That's why we pay higher rates here. Plus, we do all the research and have to bear the cost of the billions of dollars it takes to get through the FDA for approval. Why is the DA quiet on all this? Well, that's a good question, Carmen. And I went to the website. Let me go back there again, see if they've done anything yet. Everybody else is publishing something. The Freedom Front Plus put something out. I haven't seen what the EFF has done. I don't really care to hear what they've got to say. All right, let's go to the DA again. DA, go back to their website. Newsroom, okay, and see if there's anything new. Latest news. Nope, they're still complaining about being cut out of the G20 meeting. That's all they care about right now. Yep, there's a super chat from Elise. I'm going to give nearly as many super chats as I got early this morning, but thank you guys for that. For those who don't know, we have a group that we started called Making South Africa Great. I started it as a community on Twitter, on X, and I'll get you the link to that if you want to join it. We've got a couple hundred people that have joined it already. So here's the link if you would like to join that. You're welcome to post in there as long as you're not a bigot or a racist and you don't troll or spam. You're welcome to join it. You'll find all of my videos will get posted in there. I got to get in the habit of doing that. My moderators or I will do that. 202 people currently. You have to be approved. So I've got one other moderator, it's Hendo right now, and myself. So we will we'll do that for you if you want to join that group. That's available to you, okay? You missed the question. Why not redesignate borders and determine homelands for different cultures? What does that have to do with Trump's executive order? You asking me for policy for South Africa? Why divide South Africa into multiple countries, many of which won't be feasible or viable? A KZN country would survive, and a Gauteng country would survive, a Western Cape country would survive, but Eastern Cape would just be like frickin' Burkina Faso. Limpopo, same thing. So I'm not sure what your question is. And I'm sure I did miss it. There's a lot of text coming in there. Yolanda Cillier says ANC will never let racism go. Yeah. Make South Africa great cheese, carrots, coconut. The runtime force high-power energy weapon theory suggests that unexplained lights and phenomena observed during the 19th incident were actually generated by covert military tests. I know nothing about that, Dave. That sounds like conspiracy stuff. That's not my cup of tea. I deal in facts and analysis. I'm an intelligence analyst, so I don't. That's not something that I'm familiar with. 22-8. Where are they at in the game? Will U.S. companies who operate in South Africa pull out? Tyler, Dugan, that could be a consequence, but I don't think they will because for many of them, it's a gateway to Africa at the moment. Yep. A bot saving South Africa. What's this? Shelly says, why is the EFF allowed to march around, kill? Because he's a useful idiot. Some people serve a purpose. You have to understand that the EFF is simply the ANC's foot soldiers. They vote almost in lockstep with the ANC, except for a few occasions. They're mostly bumhurt former ANC members from the Youth League and such. And Malema is allowed to say what he wants to say so the ANC members don't have to say it. Yep, let's not beat around the bush. The U.S. Deep South looks like third world countries. Pablo Charlie, it does not. That's horse shit. Hey, you're just making shit up. He's making stuff up. Stop it. Adele says it's wonderful news. Well, that's good to hear. 739 likes. Can we get some more likes, get a little more love? Let me take a look and see how we're doing over here. I'm curious to see what's been going on because we've been busy here for a while now. And we've been at this for an hour and a half. 33,540 subscribers. That's a nice, man, I wish it was a lot more, but that's a good deal here. The video I did for Trump granting refugee status, that has over 50,000 views now. That's getting about 5,000 hours, 62,000 views. Wow. Devald Fenter, thank you for subscribing. And everyone who's watched that video, wow, let's see how far that goes. The one I did about Afrikaans isn't doing so well. It shows you the titles matter. Yep, they really do matter. And my backlash on Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address is 43,000. Let me see how we got views for the last 48 hours. 237,000 views in the last 48 hours, and we have been hitting over 7,000 views per hour every hour since 11 p.m. last night. Wow. That's incredible. If we can keep this pace up, it'd be unbelievable. So it says my channel's got 600% more views than usual. Yeah, that is true. As a white, 1974, we were sanctioned. Since 94, again, sanctioned by ANC, we can survive, says Johan van Dalen. Oh, no, Wales is coming back, Gabriel. That's not good news. Neville says, good afternoon. Thank you for all you're doing, keeping us up to speed with developments. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. It's my pleasure. Thank you for rewarding me with a subscription. And a like would be nice, too, if you don't mind that. Please hit the like button. Memphis is violent, very violent. Yeah, Memphis does have very violent. You're right. It's very violent places there. Will my service and FBA opportunity in U.S. Okay, D.D. Berger, your service in the SANDF has nothing to do with refugee status unless you commit a crime. Then it'll stop you from it. It has nothing to do with it. And will allow an opportunity if the U.S. military is a refugee. No, it has nothing to do with refugee stuff. Okay, let me check something out here real quick. I just grabbed something here. Yeah, your status in the military has nothing to do with refugee status. You get refugee status just by being a person who's persecuted, so and falling into a category. Military personnel are harmed by these experiments. It's currently under investigation. I don't know anything about it. I spent 36 years in the Army. When did it happen? But I was mostly overseas. So let me go to State Department here. I want to check something out real quick. God bless it. Ah, my damn thing. Happy Pride Month to John Steenhuisen. Okay. Oh, come on. My computer's locked up here. Okay, let's see. Looking to see something here real quick. I thought there might be something here about South Africa, but I don't see anything about South Africa. 2 hours ago, huh? Okay. Mexico, Houthis, fake news. 2 hours ago. These are all reposted. Good God, they're all reposted. So, January 15th. January 15th. I'll get to go with the latest. That's the way I get to do it here. I think that's how you do it. So, State Department spokesman. Oh, it doesn't let me do latest. So, no, I can't find anything here. Let me try Tammy Bruce. She's with the State Department. Tammy Bruce. Let me see what she's got to say. Okay. Tammy Bruce says the following. She's now the spokesperson at State Department. Stands ready to help the descendants of settlers in South Africa who are being expropriated and abused. Pursuant to President Trump's executive order, the State Department is suspending all non-life-threatening aid life-saving aid. So apparently PEPFAR will continue. Persecuted South African farmers and other innocent victims being targeted solely based on their race who choose to resettle America will be welcome. The United States will defend the rights and interests of those remaining descendants of settlers threatened with expropriation without compensation. Will no longer stand by while God-given rights are so cruelly violated. So, yeah, that's what she has to say. She published that at 9 a.m., so 2 hours ago. Tammy Bruce, State Department spokesperson. Yep. All right, so she's so State Department is beginning to say things, spokesperson, but there's nothing there that tells us what they're going to do. They just tell us they're going to do it. We knew that already. Erica Volt, thank you for subscribing. Wow, we lost a bunch of people. Where'd everybody go? 100 people just disappeared. Don't you think that Ron Poz will try to stop the Afrikaans speak people that want to make use of President Trump's offer? How? How, Caroline? How? You know, the Israelis flew planes into countries and took people out. You think Trump won't do that? Here come Hutkak. Yeah, no kidding. Rothney Fundamental. Chris, thank you for an awesome program. Could you perhaps find out when and where we can apply for refugee program? No, I can't because it's not announced. You have to wait and see, folks. The program is suspended. I've mentioned this several times. You're probably just coming into the chat. I've said that it's suspended right now. This program has been suspended by the president on the 20th of January. He just issued this executive order last night, which will override it for some people in South Africa. But other than that, the program is suspended globally. So he just put this back into effect. You need to wait for the State Department to issue guidance. And calm down. Everybody take a breath. It isn't going to happen overnight. Although this administration has been fast, maybe it will. I'm concerned about the passport issue. What if we don't get them in time? I'd have to, well, you should always have a passport. That's part of the problem here. You should always have a passport, especially if you live in Africa. I don't know how people live in Africa and not have a passport. I understand the situation, but that doesn't solve your problem. But, you know, refugees oftentimes come with no documentation, but we'll see. In this case, it probably won't be allowed. I certainly much doubt that English-speaking whites are screwed. I think the team Afrikaner was used to be PC. Trump and South Africans around him know it's whites in general. Viva Budge, I don't disagree, but by the words of this, if you listen to what I said, you are screwed. However, what I did say is that they have to define Afrikaner, all right? I also said that this will likely be expanded upon and clarified later on. So you are correct in my view, and I am correct in what I stated. 100 engagement farmers from Pakistan just left. I don't know what that is. Let's see. EFF hates us but does not want us to leave. Exactly. Is there anything the ANC will be happy to see white people leave? They will try to find a way to tax us as we leave. Yep. Got my homemade tamales. What is that? Can I start swimming? Meet you halfway? Well, I'm not swimming. Arctic says it takes 6 days to get a passport. Can our assets be frozen? Sure they can. They can be frozen right now. That's why I said when this broke last night, people were like, what do I do? What do I do? How can I do this? I want to get out. And I'm like, okay, stop. First off, I don't encourage you going to a U.S. diplomatic mission. We have 3 consulates. Well, 4. One's in Hatfield. We have an embassy in Hatfield with a consulate in the building, and we have a consulates in Durban, Joburg, and Cape Town. I don't encourage you going there to find out what's going on here because they'll likely be watching. Do I lose my Southern citizenship if I apply? If you apply to come here as a refugee, you don't lose your citizenship unless your home country strips you of it, which is illegal. That violates international norms. South Africa can't strip your citizenship if you come to America as a refugee. That's illegal. It violates international treaties and standards. If you live in America as a refugee and eventually get a green card as a permanent resident, you don't have to become American citizen. But if you decide to become American citizen, you must renounce your foreign citizenship. Although most people don't do that and they get away with it, which is bullshit. You can't have fealty to 2 states. I don't think you can, put your bum on both sides of the fence, because then all you do is crack your ass and it burns. You got to sit on one side or the other. Don't need a passport. U.S. will issue refugees with travel documents like a passport. Yes, that's what I said, Michael. That is often the case, but I don't know if that'll be the case here. So we can't speculate. Just because it's been done in one place doesn't mean it's done universally. Things change for circumstances. So, all right, it's not a willy-nilly. I mean, the bullshit that was pulled off in Afghanistan, dumping 160,000 unvetted Afghans, is causing problems in this country right now. Some were decent, good people. Many of them weren't. Yeah, just relax, says Arctic. Yep. Thank you for your kind info. You're welcome, Blair. My pleasure. Mike Yankee says, if I could leave, I would. Our government needs to be cut off from handouts. Yeah, well, they're being cut off from our handouts anyway. Ruvani Fribus is back. Thank you so much for your support. Cool Beans, you're welcome. Nick Groves. They might take it even if we stay. Passports are not. Oh, yeah, the money. Yeah, well, that's what expropriation is all about. They can just take your resource. That's why they're doing it. It's not about land. It's just all a red herring, folks. It's not about the land. Sure, they'll expropriate some land, but it's not why they're doing it. They're doing it to go after your pension funds. They're doing it to use it as a political tool to frighten you into shutting your mouth if you say anything bad about the government. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. That's what it's all about. Can you just clear up again about refugees versus... Sure, Adele, I can do that. Yeah, not a problem. All right, that's not what I'm looking for. Hang on a second here. Where the heck did I put it at? There it is. I've tossed it on the floor. Asylum, which is not going to apply to any of you. Every year, and there are similarities, but they're not the same. Every year, people come to the United States seeking protection because they've suffered persecution or fear that they will suffer persecution. So you don't even have to suffer, you just have to fear it. Based on your race, your religion, your nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. That's me. I was suffered here because of YouTube for my political opinion. You may only file this application if you're physically present in the United States. So, as I said before, an example of an asylum seeker would be during the Cold War, the Russian national hockey team or Mikhail Baryshnikov comes to America on a ballet tour, and they run off and ask for asylum. That's what asylum is. But it's been abused. So, Fang Wan, fellow Afrikaners, let's go and help them make America great again. Colorado looks like a beautiful place to live and work. Yeah, until you get there and you see all the potheads and the leftists running the state. Maybe you could turn the tide and make it conservative again. So that's how asylum works. But it's been abused for years by corrupt administrations and the State Department to let millions of people flood into our country who have no business being here. And people show up on our border. And the international norm for asylum is your first safe harbor that you reach. Literally, it doesn't have to be a port, but first time you get out of the zone where you're in jeopardy and you arrive somewhere where you can be protected, that's where you must apply for asylum. Unfortunately, tens of millions of people have violated that norm, and governments haven't held them to the standard. So we have a disaster in the United Kingdom, a disaster in Germany, we have a disaster in America. We have a disaster in Canada, too, for that matter, but, anyway. So that's asylum. Refugee is very different, although many of the same factors play a role here. Okay, so under the United States law, a refugee is someone who is located outside the United States, is of a special humanitarian concern to the United States, Afrikaners, racially discriminated against, determines or demonstrates that they were persecuted or that they fear persecution due to their race, their religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, like being a homosexual, is not firmly resettled in another country. In other words, you can't be living in Germany and go, oh, I want to come to America now. And thank you for the super chat, Sylvester Stalline. All right. And you are admissible to the United States. If you're a criminal, we're not going to take you. So too bad for that. A refugee does not include anyone who ordered, incited, assisted, or otherwise participated in the persecution of any person on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular group or social group. For the legal definition of refugee, you see there's an Immigration Nationality Act. So anyway, that's on the State Department website. I heard Panama invasion by U.S. begins in 2 weeks. Why? We just got what we wanted. The Chinese are no longer there. They've been kicked out of the Belt and Road Initiative. They stopped it. So why would we invade? There was a question that came up a minute ago. Oh, it was the super chat. That's what it was. Hang on. So Fang, okay, that was Sylvester Stalline's super chat. It says, I have a general question that's been bothering me for a few weeks. Do we have a civic responsibility to vote with our feet to deprive bad government of taxes? Sylvester, I can't answer that question. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say one thing and tell you something else. Also, if I were to tell you my thoughts, people wouldn't believe me. They're like, oh, you just don't want people in your country. Yeah, so it doesn't work like that. So sorry, my chat was messed up here. So Sylvester, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you that I find it heartbreaking that people feel the need to leave South Africa. It's an amazing country with amazing people, but I get why some people feel they got to leave. But I would not discourage or encourage anyone. So I hope that answers your question. D. McPherson on the NCA protecting. Is he on there right now? Is he on there right now? Let's go see. Well, you're gonna have it on TV. I have to see if it's online. ENCA. Okay. ENCA. See if he's live now. Do we have a live? No. Yeah, it's not. You're on television. Yeah, so the DA is, if he's defending it, that just tells you where the DA is. Also, there's still nothing on their webpage. Nothing on their webpage. Nothing. So hardly a surprise. Hardly a surprise. Yep. Lewis Wilkie says, oh, okay, well, there you go. Chasing my viewers away. Thanks for that. Pay your TV license, Chris. Honestly, I think all races, certain degrees, naysayers are liars. No, bystander, you're confusing. It depends on your definition of racism. My definition of racism is somebody that recognizes there are different races and then takes action that helps one or hinders another. That's racism to me. Don't we still have time to say this is unconstitutional and throw it all out? How many more years to decide with the leader? Well, it's not just that, Shawnee. It's also the Iran thing. Listen, there's a very telling part in this executive order, which one of the viewers said earlier and pointed out. Said that, there's more to this, which is I've been saying all along, and Trump even told us that on the tarmac. In addition, South Africa has taken aggressive positions towards the United States and its allies, including accusing Israel, but not Hamas, of genocide in the International Court of Justice. And here it is. And reinvigorating its relations with Iran to develop commercial, military, and nuclear arrangements. You want to bet that they have classified information that the South Africans and the Iranians are cooperating on nuclear reactors and maybe even nuclear weapons? The ANC might be helping. Well, the South Africans might think they're just helping with reactors. I'll bet that plays a role here. I have no evidence of that. I'm just doing analysis here. That's very well possibly the case. So there's a lot more to it. It's not just expropriation. So ending expropriation won't end this. The ANC is going to have to back down for some other things. Have they proved an Iran connection? Has who proved an Iran connection? I don't understand your question. Is who? What's this check? Sue Walsh. What are you telling Sue what? What did Sue say? I missed out what Sue said. Excuse me. What you are saying is true. The ABC Act defines property. Of course it's true. I know that. Thank you, Gary Vall. I've been telling people that forever, since before the law was ever passed. How do you know so much about South Afrikaners? Quinn. It's a long story, and YouTube is frozen over here again. God, that's very irritating. They've been having problems here for a long time. Let me see if I can't get this to come up. It goes back to when I was a kid. I followed the liberation movements in Rhodesia and Angola and Mozambique. And, wow, we dropped under 800 now. So what's everybody doing? And then I read a book by James Mitchell called The Covenant about Geloofde and historical fiction. And that got me more interested in it. I went off to university, studied history, left after a year, joined the Army, became fascinated with Africa. While I was at university, I was introduced to rugby, became a Springbok fan, then later a Western Province fan. Went into the Army, got interested in Africa, even more so, and then started learning Afrikaans, teaching myself Afrikaans. And then I went back to university and finished my degree, and my focus in history was on Africa, Southern Africa in particular. I decided I wanted to be a regular Army officer, military intelligence, and a foreign area officer for Sub-Saharan Africa, make full colonel, and be the defense attaché in South Africa. All of that, I made a decision in 1984. And from then until 2019, I marched, and every single thing I made come true, except the defense attaché, because when I pinned on full colonel rank, they gave that position from the Army to the Navy. And so I couldn't serve in that position. So I didn't get to do that one, which was my goal, to serve in South Africa. But I lived in Botswana next door, and I ran the operations there. So, yeah, that's a little bit of that's the short version of why I know so much. I'm an intelligence analyst, a linguist, a published author, a university professor, tons of things. Cyril says, thanks for your support. You can never understand the good here. Oh, I got a feel for it, Cyril. I mean, I think a lot of you don't know who I am. You're just tuning in and you're listening to me right now, and you think this is awesome. But if you watch my videos, if you read about me, you research me a little bit, check my profile on LinkedIn, and you'll find I've been doing this for a very long time. It's just I've been shadow banned by YouTube. People haven't been able to find me, so we're just breaking through that now. But anyway, so thank you for that. Also, my trips to South Africa, my meet and greets, Section 25. Property is not limited property. Well, Gary, you obviously come in late in the game because I put that on the screen and I put it in all my videos. It's a chart that I made that covers that. Hang on a second here. Where are we at here? Let's get back down here. I've made lots of charts about GOA eligibility, about Section 5 of the Expropriation Act, all kinds of stuff. Okay, what the hell's going on here now? I can't find what I'm looking for. Is there that much stuff here? I guess it's a little further back here. There's Herman Mashaba. I'm not looking for that. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. That's why I can't find it. There we go. My bad. I'm in the wrong folder. Too much crap. See, that's crap. That means stuff, not crap like Dorvos. It being crap. All right, so here you go. Here is the entire Section 25 of South Africa's Constitution, which I've used repeatedly in my videos. There you go. If all this falls into place and if it gets some kind of confirmation, will it give one a window frame? Yeah, they'll give information. When I come to US, I'll help you with your Afrikaans. Thank you for that, Quinn. Okay. Sorry, something... This is unrelated, but why is Russia so poor despite its population size and abundance of natural resources? Keep losing me. Probably YouTube. Maybe they're harassing my channel. I don't know. I'm here. My tab keeps closing, but it's not just me. It's all YouTube. People are having trouble with it. Just keep coming back, folks. Thanks for coming back. Sorry I supported the Stormers, says Slippery Pickle. Chris watches rugby. He knows everything about us. BE laws. Don't care about your language you speak. Proof around dealings. Oh. They should show the proof to both houses before making claims and decision to blockade. No, they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to. Nope. Nope. You can blockade just because you feel to it. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Donald Trump can sneeze and decide to block the aid. Simple as that. Simple as that. South Africa has acted against our interests. They went to the International Court of Justice against our ally Israel. They poked us in the eye by insulting us on Thursday. Poked us in the eye by insulting us on Friday. And the ANC got what they deserve. We don't have to do anything. The House and Senate don't have oversight of the president's ability to do that. They have oversight over other things, but not that. So no, you don't understand the political system very well. Nope. Bush used well, there was WMD in Iraq. I'm tired of telling people that are too lazy to understand this. Weapons of mass destruction were found in Iraq, and the media covered it up and lied about it, and people fell for this story for years. When U.S. forces crossed the border in March of 2003, the Iraqis fired dozens and dozens of Scud missiles into Kuwait. Those Scud missiles are weapons of mass destruction, which were banned by the United Nations and supposed to have been disassembled and destroyed. But they didn't do it. They got more Scuds. They had weapons of mass destruction. What you're referring to is nuclear weapons. Well, didn't have nuclear weapons. What's your point? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, and this is the problem with this is why dealing with lay people that don't know history and political science can be frustrating at times. At the end of the day, when the nonsense and the hysterical lunatics on the left and right disappear from the scene and objective adults sit in the room, they will realize that the reason that George Bush went into Iraq, justifiable or not, was because he couldn't take the risk, in his view, of a rogue state like Iran sponsoring terrorism. Iraq, which is what they were doing. And you can't deny that. It's a fact. Saddam Hussein paid the survivors of suicide bombers who walked onto buses in Israel and blew themselves up $50,000 US for every person that committed suicide that way, killing innocent civilians, women and children. $50,000. Dozens of payments were made. That's a state sponsor of terrorism. That's what Iraq was. And after 9/11, Bush felt we couldn't tolerate state sponsors. Same reason they struck back at the Taliban in Afghanistan. So that's what history will tell when true historians actually reflect on what happened. All the rest is bullshit. The Bush administration made a stupid mistake by allowing the media to glom onto this weapons of mass destruction thing, which is just one of a dozen different justifications for going into Iraq. I'm not saying going there was justified or not justified. I'm just telling you the facts. I worked at the National Security Agency. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I was there in 2002 when this was built up and in 2003 when the conflict launched off. So actually know what I'm talking about. Not just some guy sitting around pontificating. Anyway, so there you go. Now, that's not an official statement by the U.S. Where are you getting the nonsense? Cool heads, clear research, documents in order, well prepared, especially when it comes to your loved ones. Yep. South Africa will give up their nuclear weapons back in the late 90s. They did give up their nuclear weapons. Yep. Change my name now, says Cyril. Scuds, chemical weapons, and so on are all weapons. Yep. Okay. You almost know more about me, mate. Well done. Not just a talker. You actually know what it's about. Yeah, of course I know what it's about. That's what kills me. That's why you get these fake people that attack me on the left and right. You got racist on the left, racist on the right. You've got leftists on the left, rightists on the right. A bunch of clowns everywhere who have penis envy, who have no CV, who have no background, who've never done jack squat, and they try to refute. You know, that's what kills me about the whole thing with YouTube. You get some slightly attractive, perky little person getting on there. Ooh, look at this, look at this. They have no idea what they're talking about. And they just do it over and over again. People think they know what they're talking about. Being entertaining is one thing, and that's great. But being entertaining and know what the hell you're talking about are two different things, Anyway, and let's then begin to talk about the hundreds of people that I've interviewed in this program. It's amazing that with one stroke, Trump's pen causes all this chaos. Yeah, isn't that what's amazing? Do you think Barron Trump or Trump's granddaughter will run for presidency? I have no idea. That's a long way off. But they both have very bright futures. They have very bright futures. Faye says, and also Colonel Wyatt, I think South Africans need to know who the real Colonel Gaddafi was. He was the most definitely Oh, yeah, no, of course. Do South Africans think he was anything other than state-sponsored terrorism? He built mosques and madrasas all over Eastern Africa and the Sahel and spread frickin' jihadism through his nonsense. Yep. Herman van der Vesto says, many South Africans of the leftist bent are telling Afrikaans on social media, what the hell did you say? To take Trump, offer and leave. No, don't. Do what's best for you, and hopefully it means you're staying at Paulie's membership. Paulie's been in the program 43 months. Thanks for that, Paulie. Trump not playing around. No, Trump ain't. Homie, don't play that. Trump ain't playing around. I'm guessing there's a lot of money to be made going short on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Yeah, there's probably a lot of money to be made selling short the currency on Monday, too. Leo Mallon Show. Okay, I don't know who Leo is. Do you have a show called Leo? If I can become a U.S. citizen, I don't need South African citizenship. All I want is the opportunity to start over and do my part in society. If America's willing to give me that opportunity, I'll take it. Well, you won't be a citizen. You'll be a refugee. You can apply for citizenship at some point as long as you adhere to the law. It's not automatic, but yeah, you'll probably get it. Hanali van Heerden says low crime, jobs, opportunity, affordable housing. So still, what's this? The fact of the matter is that there's no future in South Africa, says Krista Hasbrook. Okay, she came around the corner with the 245s in her hand. She held a gun. Tinka Andre says, I applied for visa twice to go and visit my two children, son-in-law and grandkids working here, but visa was denied. Well, do you want to immigrate here? Do you want to come here as a refugee? Do you want to visit? Because the reason your visa was denied is because our racist Department of State was denying visas to white South Africans. Ernst van Sale was denied his passport or his visa or delayed his visa last year. Couldn't get here, but he eventually got it. 30 years screwed. Yep. Used to wonder at how 6 million Jews sat in Nazi and sing it all, waiting for their turn. Now I get it. Well, yeah, you're right there. South Africa, same thing. Anyone have experience with H-2B visa applications? Well, I don't know why you're asking for that, Stoic Steve. That's very different than refugee, and you don't get any money for that. You have to have a job. Yes, we have I have people that I know that have those agricultural visas that are South Africans. I never knew about WMDs. Thank you for letting me. No, you're welcome, Dave. But it's because the leftists tell fairy tales. See, I deal in facts, not supposition. I mean, unless it's necessary to have supposition because you're lacking facts. But I have the facts. Scud missiles are weapons of mass destruction. They're classified as such by the United Nations. Now, the problem is that the nothing burger was they didn't find nuclear weapons or chemical weapons. But the Iraqis had used chemical weapons, so, they'd never been punished for it. And they were researching nuclear weapons. They just didn't have them. So, anyway, But that was a problem by the Bush administration, let them run with that, which was a huge mistake. Tiger Hill in Pennsylvania. Okay. Fun fact, my great-grandfather's land was taken in Zimbabwe, so I moved to Mozambique to start over. Then my grandfather's land was taken in Mozambique, forced my family to South Africa. Round 3. Okay, if coming to Tennessee, learn Spanish comes in handy. Screw Spanish. It's good to have 2 or 3 superpowers in the world. AfriForum met with Trump in his first term about farmers to try to get us refugee status. No, I'm not aware that they met with Trump. That's factually untrue, to my knowledge. Maybe it's true, but I understood they met with some senators, and they met with Tucker Carlson. They went on his program. It was Answer It. I'm not aware that they met with Trump. Been waiting a long time for this, and who thought we'd be thanking Cyril for this? Yeah, exactly. Got that song now in my head. I'm a real American. Don't know that. Will you give me American clothes when I arrive? Because I'll have to take. I'm not going to give you anything. You guys already get my tax dollars come here for free. What more do you want? Mark Harris says Trump got rid of all the farm workers with illegal immigrants going back over the border. Well, the illegal immigrants are mostly not farm workers. Most of the farm workers are not illegals. Most of them are actually legal. They have visas to come here. That's a misnomer. But yeah, we need farm workers. Was a major in the old Army, pensioner today. Do you... No, I wouldn't have a job in the U.S. Army. You're too old for the Army. You can't join the Army. No, you might work as a civilian for the Army. Exactly. Talk to other South Africans before you pack. It's a process. Well, Cyril has been spitting in Trump's face. That's why this happened last night. Sylvester's coming for my taxes. I did. I spent $7,000 in December paying taxes to make sure I wasn't short. $7,000. That's 150,000 Rand. Because we're taxed at a very high rate. Jan said they packed and left in 6 weeks. Matthew Dixon, thanks for the couch, Colonel. The couch is mine. I love that couch. Need to fix South Africa. Exactly, Adrian Desmarais. People can't just get up and move. Need to petition party, not 52, starting over at 25, but work at 60. Deborah says, we are so blessed to have you to unravel this thingamawhacker. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Deborah. Thank you for being here. And please tell other people about my program. Go back and watch my channel. Hey, can I ask you guys to do this? There's 745 people right here. I'm going to ask you right now. It looks like Hendo's not here. He's probably getting some rest. Let me look this up. I'm going to ask you guys, it would be so cool if we could just, this would like maybe spark this video again. If you could just go open this tab up and go to this video. This is my Groot Constantia documentary from a couple years ago. I'm going to ask you, please open it up another tab. You can let it play in the background and put a mute or just go watch it after I go off air. But please go watch that video. I'd really, really appreciate that a ton, folks, a whole lot, because that video has been shadow banned by YouTube for so long. It doesn't have people. And that's that. Then also, if you'd like to join the group we have, Making South Africa Great, which is a Twitter community, and you have to get permission to join there. Here's the link for that as well. So if you'd like to join, okay? But please check out, open that tab up for Groot Constantia, and please watch that. And I'll see how many of you, it's a small favor. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for super chats or memberships, but I am asking you to watch it. That video deserves to have 500,000 views, and it's been languishing under 1,000. I just got over 1,000 after begging people to go watch it for weeks on end. Hendo's busy promoting the channel. Okay, Chris Marie, thank you for that. Wandering Turtle, how was the rugby today? It sucked. Actually, it was not a bad game. But unfortunately, the Bulls lost another player. Koba's visa went out. Didn't look too good. No, it's not a government-owned farm. Groot Constantia is an NGO. It's a non-for-profit. Yeah, it's not government. It was government-owned at one time, but then he took it private again. Yeah, people join the U.S. military to get citizenship. That's true. Guys, you won't believe how refreshing it is to go to a country where you don't have burglar bars all over. You don't have to lock your car doors when you're driving. You can walk your dogs at 9 p.m. without fear. Yeah, and you can go shopping at midnight, and you can get food any time of day, anywhere, as long as you live anywhere near in a built-up area. And fuel, there's no fuel lines. There's jobs galore. Yeah, if it all comes to this, I'll be happy if I'm dumped in Barrow, Alaska, says Nick. Really helps. It's refugees settle in an amazing country. We're blessed. Okay, Richard Lever's here. Hey, Richard, you've been with the program for a long time. How's it going? Oh, excuse me. If people now start moving fast, the country will tank with another brain drain. Yeah, South Africa will collapse, and they'll regret it. Cyril Ramaphosa is not long for this world. His tenure is, as the chief executive, is coming to an end here very soon because of his stupidity. And that's scary what comes after him, because he may be an idiot, but he's a mild idiot. Night Owl Media says, thank you for the 7,000. It should cover, no, it's 9,000. And it's simple things like putting your wallet in your back pocket. Yeah, it's rough of mine. Jumping in Ubers without being armed. Yep. Rob says he's too arrogant. Backlash to ANC, it's difficult to stop the car once you put the brake lines. Cut the brake lines, yeah. Thank you, President Trump has lost his cool arrogance. Yep. Christine Fundemava, welcome to you. In the USA, you just got to worry about the planes falling out of the sky. They didn't fall out of the sky. It's a mid-air collision. Different story. Our planes don't fall out of the sky. RJ wants to know if he's being ignored. I don't know. Are you being ignored, RJ? Killer asteroid headed for Pennsylvania. Real news. Now, there's no asteroid headed for here. It's fear-mongering by CNN and Science Today and others. I've read the story. Not even going to come close to the planet. They're just trying to get you scared. Thank you for all you do for Ons Land. I just found you. Well, I'm so glad you found me. Please tell other people about me. Really do. Can you grow your own food? Of course you grow your own food. Yeah. Grow tomatoes here. I grow raspberries here. I got apple trees in my backyard. Yeah. 3.2% chance of asteroid hitting. That's a higher chance than Cyril Ramaphosa backing down. Do you have a red pen without invisible ink? Yeah, they have invisible ink. If it's Boeing, it ain't. My stepbrothers have looked after the Stellenbosch wine cellars. They had a contract. Not sure if they still do. Willem Petzer also have 100% facts and is also on YouTube. Okay, are you telling people to go watch Willem Petzer? Last time I talked to Willem Petzer, he told me I was naive. Pretty cheeky little sod. Yep, a long time ago. How long before the details? Irene, it's Saturday. This is executive order signed Friday night. Government typically doesn't work on Saturday, although Doge is working, trimming the budget. We don't know. The program we're talking about was suspended by President Trump on January 20th when he became president. He stopped the refugee program. Now he's directed that it be open for South Africa's Afrikaners who are being racially discriminated against. And he hasn't defined Afrikaner. So we're going to have to wait for this. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Everybody. Maybe early next week we might hear some initial guidance from the State Department. Do you have vervet monkeys? Nope. The stranger in a strange country is better than a stranger in your own country. That's a fair statement there. Desiree Janssen van Rensburg. Hey, you've got a Janssen van Rensburg. Welcome to you. Ironic, in late 1980s, America put sanctions on South Africa to assist in getting the Afrikaans party out. Actually, it wasn't the late 1980s, Sue Walsh. It was 1984, 1985 time frame, mid-80s. Holy moly, Chris, don't you sleep? No, I don't. I got an hour's sleep last night, and I have slept no more than 3 or 4 hours since before Trump became president, as I've been making videos and doing live streams to keep people informed. And that's why I do appreciate everybody. Look, people are leaving now. Where's everybody going, man? They all go. Maybe they're going to watch the Goed Constantie video. That we don't have, 50,000 subscribers. I'm sure that his experts are probably working hard on how to define it. Yep. Somebody is not like me, or he or she is not an Afrikaner. Use me as an example. In the U.S., we play NFL, college football. Probably, Charlie, not even in the U.S. You're in the Netherlands. Duracell Bunny. Back, they're going to watch rugby on TV. Huh? I'm impressed that Rob Hersoff popped in. Yeah, no, Rob's a good dude. Was good to see him pop in here. I doubt he's still here, though. He's probably got things to do, people to contact. Their expats group on Facebook. Sorry, cannot see myself relocating, says Steve. I don't blame you. I'm not encouraging anybody to leave. Big question is, will be space travel? Are you serious? First off, if every colored and Indian and white South African came to America, we could put you all in Texas. You'd be fine. Adrian van Jasveld. I just popped out to watch the first half of the Goed Constantie. I will watch. Thank you, Wandering Turtle. You've been here forever and you didn't know about that video? Armageddon news. Oh my goodness. ANC hates that Trump is offering farmers land. Trump didn't offer anybody land. Where did you get that nonsense from? Trump's not offering anybody land. That's fake news. You're not offered land. Where did you get that from? Fake news, fake news, fake news. Tracy wants to know why I'm ignoring Tracy. I'm not ignoring Tracy. I don't see any comments from you here. Cricket is also on live. Oh, jeez. That's people are going to watch cricket. Gosh, I'll paint my wall. You can watch the paint dry. I said all of them. It's not. It's more than 2 million. It's 6 million coloreds, 2.8 million Afrikaners, 2 million whites, 1.2 million Indians. That's a lot of people. It is fake news. Where are you getting that from? Where did he offer land? Tell me where you got it from, Armageddon News. Tell me where you got it from. The only thing Trump said is an executive order. He hasn't even made a public statement on this. So where are you getting that he said he's offering land? Elon bought 40 million in ads to advertise the corruption of the government. Yep. America's about to learn the majesty of cricket. We have cricket. We have a national cricket team. We've had cricket for over a century. But nobody plays it. It's such a posh game. U.S. has limited refugees. Yeah, no, Mike. Okay, you're getting no. Okay, first off, we set the limit, and it can be set every year. We took in 160,000 refugees when our limit was 100,000 when Biden took them in. And refugees, no, it's not limited for Africa. No, that's not true. Where are you getting this from? God, you guys come up with this stuff. No. It's up to the administration or Congress what they're going to take in, or both. It's and the program is frozen, so nobody's coming here right now under the refugee resettlement program. So the entire quota, if it's 100,000 for this year, or 50,000, or 200,000, could fall to South Africans. So, yep. And also, he doesn't establish quotas here. He says any who've been victims of racial discrimination, any Afrikaner. So he says, for Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination, not 10,000, not 20,000, not 50,000. All of them, presumably. But obviously that's not going to happen. If I come to you and say, where would you stay when you come to Joburg? Maryland. I guess I wouldn't be able to go to Northcliffe. Sue says, excuse me if I seem to irritate you. I've lived through burning tires being thrown in my property and was an English-speaking and never racist. Now it's only Afrikaners that can... Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is why Donald Trump needs someone who knows what they're talking about as an advisor. I would not have written this executive order in this way, so I wouldn't have to answer these questions, and so people wouldn't lose their freaking minds. Calm down. It says Afrikaner. Okay? It can be a whole lot of different people. That's now. Every time we turn around, the ANC is insulting America, and Trump is just going to bring more thunder, and that group is going to expand. So, Sue, hang in there. Hang in there. There's a problem. He's not being advised well. If he thinks it's only Afrikaners, then, he's not being advised well. So, should have had me on his team. That would be a super chat. Watch paint dry and listen to Colonel comment on it. That's funny. D and ANC are having a meltdown in South Africa. Trump wanting our farmers. Okay. You never did tell me where you found that information, Armageddon News. You just typed something else in there. Trump wants our farmers. No, he doesn't. Frida Wasink, if there's an American family in America, will it be possible for them to assist our children if they will take refugee status? Why do you ask a question like that, Frida? Are you staying and not leaving? You're going to send your kids as refugees? Source incoming, says Michael. Okay. Saw a news post about anti-bias bill gaining against discrimination against Christians. Yes, no. Trump signed executive order to that effect. Jonathan says, hey, I saw a news post about... I'm sorry, I just saw that. I'm planning to buy some property here in South Africa, says Sean. Okay. Was your spouse here last night? Or am I thinking someone else? Okay. That person misunderstanding the free land is... That person's misunderstanding the free land to South African farmers. Wrong country, Mozambique. Yep. Do you think ANC is giving away the land, making money, leasing to foreign investors? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Huntley van Heerden, yes. So read statements on the embassy website and talk to experts. Don't make life decisions and so from social media. I assume that wasn't a dig at me, Arctic. Mozambique is actively offering land to South African farmers. Yeah, not Trump. That's nonsense. Guys, if you heard something from other sources, why not share the sources rather than ask Chris? Exactly. But people aren't sharing sources. They're just sharing rumors, which is not helpful. BizTech, government response, President Trump's plan to resell South Africans. Okay, I read that article. It doesn't say anything about land. What are you talking about? Let me go back there. BizTech. And I'll prove to you. See, look at this. I didn't even have to look it up. There it is right there. So, strongly recommends. Government noted disappointment. South Africa reaffirmed its commitment. The statement clarified recent improvement. The government, despite order, prioritize the mission. Trump and other figures alongside the settlements. Trump has followed through his warnings. Justified. Confiscating land. Speaking of finance, there's nothing in that article. Stop spreading fake news, man. We don't need that crap. There's nothing in that article. Here's the link to that article. People can go read it for themselves. And you see that, when I tell you shit, it's real. People come in here and spread nonsense. That article says nothing about Trump giving land. The only thing Trump said is in the executive order. He hasn't said anything yet. Maybe he said it this morning because I've been busy doing this and rugby. See, that's the problem. People try to come with nonsense, and I know more than you're talking about here. Hi, Chris. Just tuned in. So happy with all info you're disclosing. To leave South Africa is run by. Okay, I don't know what you're getting there, Janet Joel. I couldn't read it. I'm going to take this opportunity to move to USA, says Akio. Okay, I tell people in South Africa if they want breaking news, go to your channel. You were the first with the story. Yep, Vernon, I was. Yep, I was also the first one to break the story that Cyril Ramaphosa purportedly signed the expropriation bill not on January 23rd in front of the cameras, but on December 20th, and waited 35 days, violating the Constitution, thereby, in my view, abrogating the expropriation without compensation law because he didn't give members of Parliament opportunity to take it to the Constitutional Court. So I was the first to break that story. I was the first to break a bunch of these stories. And I've been very fortunate because I'm paying attention, but that's because I'm getting no rest. I feel like Jerry Seinfeld in the Kenny Rogers Roaster episode. I'm getting no sleep. Thank you for your subscription, Luke and Day. That's what I feel like, yeah. But, I did break that story. Trump signs the executive order against South Africa, promise to resettle Africans, victims, racists. That's okay, Armageddon News. That's not land. Resettling you doesn't mean you get land. Is English not your first language, perhaps? Resettlement doesn't mean you're given land. You're not given land. Resettlement means you just come and live here, reside here. Yep. Thank you for your membership. Renee van Groening. Wow, that's an interesting name. See, that's how these rumors get started. Oh, Trump is giving land to farmers. No, he's not. And what's the source? The story that I reported on earlier. It's the first story I talked about in this live stream 2 hours ago. Trump signs executive order against South Africa, promises to resettle Afrikaner victims of racial discrimination. That doesn't say anything about land, giving land to farmers. That's nonsense. Same thing like earlier. People like, oh, it's only farmers. Where are you getting that from? That's not what the executive order says. The only information we have on this is my analysis, my brain, the lies being told by the ANC and the media, and the silence from the DA, and the actual executive order. Trump has not said anything about it or issued anything. And we did have one thing there from a State Department spokesman. It really didn't say anything additional. People just make stuff up. Vernon Isaac said, I tell people, okay, thank you for that, Vernon. I appreciate that. Napoleon Dynamite. Are you from that movie? Do you think it will only apply to farmers? No. Okay, sorry. Good question, Napoleon. No, I don't think that because it doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about farmers applying to farmers. It doesn't say that. And I will read this again. The Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security shall take appropriate steps consistent with law to prioritize humanitarian relief, including admission and resettlement through the United States Refugee Admissions Program for Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. It doesn't say Afrikaner farmers. It doesn't say Boer farmers. It says for Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. And on the first part of this, it talked about on dismantling equal opportunity in employment, education, and business, and hateful rhetoric and government actions that cause disproportionate violence against South Africans. So there you go. There you go. So it's not about farmers. And also, this isn't just about expropriation. It's about South Africa's foreign policy behavior, which harmed our national interests, which I've been warning about for a long time. Okay, so DA left the chat. We love your chat group. Okay, cool. Are people getting over there? Let me see if we got any more applications for it. I got one more person asking to get into the. Oh, you mean this chat? One more person asked to join the Making South Africa Great. Okay, got that over there. So we got you in there now. If I come, can Trump please kick Charlize Theron out? I'd like her kicked out whether you come or not. The South African farmers in the U.S., they bought their land. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, didn't deny that, but they weren't given land by Trump. All right, what else we got here? It's plain and simple. As je weet, is een Afrikaans praat is hier by the VSA, the United States. Okay. I highly respect you and am calm, but it appears I misunderstood. Thank you. No, I don't misunderstand you, Sue. I don't understand you. You're not an Afrikaner, and you are not happy that you were excluded from the offer from Trump. That's what your point is. Correct, Sue? I understand that. My point about calm down for everybody is that people are like, I'm going to apply for this. You're not going to apply for anything. There's no program. He's directed a program be made available to people, a program that's currently suspended. And this will likely change the definition. So that's why I'm telling everybody, be calm. We'll wait to hear what they have to say, okay? And then we'll be able to go forward. So, Sue, I think I understand you. And thank you for responding back. What's the brain dead insane message this year at Super Bowl? I have no idea, Stoic Steve. I don't watch the Super Bowl anymore. It's anti-American, racist league, and I don't care for it. Oh my gosh. It's almost as if people are trying to push my buttons here. Okay. Excuse me. Refugees don't have jobs. Refugees are not asylum seekers. Refugees are not in America. Refugees are not limited by age. Refugees are not limited by physical capabilities. Refugees fall into the category of people who are oppressed or fear oppression and persecution, such as by language or culture or a specific group. And you are granted refugee status. You're given resettlement rights to stay here, given residency under that program, as long as you're not a criminal and you can prove these things, which Trump has pretty much made very possible for anybody who claims to be an Afrikaner. You don't have a job. We don't care about your job. We don't care about your 6 kids. You can bring your 6 kids if you're allowed in the program. You can bring your pets, apparently, if you come in the program. Your job, your skills don't mean jack shit if you want to be a refugee. Nothing. Means nothing. It doesn't give you a leg up, doesn't give you a leg down. It's not germane. It's irrelevant to the topic of being a refugee. If you want to immigrate here, your skills and what you can offer to this economy, very different story. Very different story. All right, it's clear from the chat people are not listening and rather acting. Exactly, Arctic. That's why I keep trying to reinforce this. People need to calm down and listen to what's being said. Arctic has been very calm. He's a South African. He's a pilot. He has a visa. He works in America. He paid a fortune for that visa. And now you all get in for free. But Arctic knows the process. I have worked with consular sections around the world, all over Africa. I know how this works. I'm not a subject matter expert in the ins and outs of programs like this because I didn't resettle refugees. I just dealt with them in Africa, but I didn't resettle them. So everybody needs to just take a deep breath. There's nothing here for you to latch onto today. It won't come for a few days at best case. I can't believe the questions people ask you when you're in trouble. You don't worry about anything, only about peace. No, Chris, if I stay, you can keep her. Foreigners buying property here pay enormous tax, but pounds or dollars, you can afford it in a civil servant retirement fund. Yes, it's beautiful here, but freedom is better than oppression. 660 people are watching. Very scary. Wasn't directed to me. I second that. After all, if you believe her, they only need space for 44 Afrikaners. Oh, that's Charlie's. Renee says, why is everybody now so concerned with the term Afrikaner? Did anybody ever worry about the Afrikaner? Yeah. For 40 years. Yeah. I'm on record. And the Tswana for a good 30 years. And the Basotho for probably 20 years. Frank Burns says, thank you for your all the information. I'm so glad I came across your channel this morning. I finally get to go home. Okay. Immigrated to Australia 15 years ago. You start from the bottom again and be ready to work and work hard. Exactly. Best money I ever spent, and maybe this is just shortens the process. Happy it opens the door for others. Yep. Refugees are allowed to work once you get a Social Security number and a form that you fill in. Correct, Mark. Once you're here and you get a Social Security number. Can you choose what state to go into? I don't know the status of that. I believe you get to indicate where you want to go, but I don't know how they do it once you come here. All I know is they dumped a crap load of Afghans in our community just down the road here, and it's causing all kinds of problems. Thank you for my stream serve. You're welcome. Farming is an occupation. The order is not even limited to whites. It's Afrikaners. That's a culture that aligns with U.S. values. Correct, Amanda? All right. You people just make us look stupid. Listen to what he's saying. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. People, that's right. Please listen to what I'm saying. Look, I think I'm displaying an awful lot of patience going over the same thing over and over again because people are tuning in. I realize that not everybody's here from the beginning. People coming in and out. I mean, we've had 658 people here, but we had 7,469 who've tuned in at some point. And the average view has been 14 minutes. That means people have been here for a while. Maybe limited to certain states like Nashville, New York, and Minneapolis. Yeah, but don't you get to tell them where you're interested in going? Afrikaans on language. Okay. Super Bowl racist. What the hell happened in America the last 34 years? 80 was a much better time. Super Bowl racist. Yeah, it is racist. So here's a pro tip, people. You will be able to buy property at lower costs than if the government takes it. You can go USA. So calm down. Sorry, some people are just joining. Maybe you can just make a video, answer something. I made a video, Greg. It's on my channel. It's there. It's on my channel. Arcus FX says, U.S. equities market trader here. Rand market does not believe the news. It's not collapsing again. Huh? Oh, well, thank you for that, Forex trader. Thank you for that, 50 rands. Erica says, let's see what happens in the next couple weeks before making the final decisions. Yeah, exactly. So I looked up. Yeah, I made a video on that. Someone asked me to make a video. I made a video. It's actually doing pretty well right now. That video, Trump grants, has 6. Well, that says earlier. Let's see if it still has that figure now. So that video from this morning, I recorded before I went to bed for an hour, has, come on YouTube, this is so slow, 67,000 views. 67,000 views. So yeah, that's the one I did earlier this morning. It's Trump grants refugee status for Afrikaners. It's a short video. It's 7 minutes, 27 seconds. It's on my channel. It explains all this. So hang on a second. There we go. Got that. Let me come back here. So that's the video. In fact, I think Hendo might have put it up there just a moment ago. So there you go. That explains all this that we know now, and it gets rid of all the rumors and also gives advice for people to be careful. Yeah, so I made the video. That's why I did it before I went to bed. I was up all night. I was supposed to get sleep for the Stormers game. That's probably why they lost, because my commentary was substandard because I was tired. Actually, no. It's because Clayton Blumenke's missed a kick from right in front of the post. Oh, my gosh. Do you know if your land gets taken, the bank loan on the property will still be your liability? Correct. Because the land was just secured. You don't get out of the loan. You borrowed it. It's too bad for you. That's like, if your car gets totaled, you still own the loan. I mean, if I walk out here now and my car gets totaled after a year and the value is dropped by 50%, I still owe the full loan. You don't get out of the loan. Yep. Yep. So there you go. Don't you think that it's obvious the ANC would choose to make money leasing it to foreign investors instead of giving away land free? I don't know what you're talking about. What land? What land? I'm not talking about land. I'm just talking about not giving away land in America. Okay, maybe they'll dump all South Africans close to me. G. Sawyer's back. Thanks for the offer, but true Afrikaners will not be a refugee. It's not about the money. It's about principle. Yeah, but you can't feed yourself on principle. That's a problem. So that's what some people are saying. Josie Jumping Castles. Chris, we appreciate you, but you need sleep. Can see it. I'm good to go, man. What are you talking about? I need sleep. Read the comments. I wonder how many will return when they find out they have to work. Yes, Chris, you do apply, but you may have exactly. No, exactly what I'm saying. So let's ensure that we're not trying to live in Manhattan 50,000 a year. Exactly. Leon van der Westhuizen, love your chats. Thanks a lot, Leon. I appreciate that. You need to understand something. South Africa is over, says, okay. Mike says, from my research, once you are stateside, refugees are free. If you want benefits programs, you might have to go where they provide the benefits. No, you get support for a year. There are different programs to support refugee resettlement. They don't just dump you somewhere, but you're on your own after a year. Madness of fear pain, you get to go without an application. You can work if you can. Want but refugee means you get help when you're, exactly. Once you're in the U.S., they continue doing checkups on you. You don't necessarily get a permanent long-term place to lie your head down, but the government might help you pay rent or mortgage. Okay. Did you know that if your land... Okay, I already said that. Sonette says, we used to have a great military. Could rely on them. That's true. Sometimes YouTube doesn't show. That's okay, Greg. Don't sweat it. It's all the time for my channel. I'm heavily censored by YouTube because they don't like the truth. You can't handle the truth. We're just now breaking through that censorship. I've been doing this for 5 years, and other people who have no talent don't know what they're talking about, and some of them aren't even attractive, and also just tell bullshit stories, and they've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So we're not doing it for the subscribers. We're doing it to reach people, and obviously we're reaching people today. Every state has different rules and assistance programs. Correct. Yep, well, the link is there. I put it in, so thank you, Greg. Father's been watching your video for years. He trusts you, so I watch you, and you're generally great at what you do. I appreciate telling the way the truth is, Hugo Basson. Well, you're welcome, Hugo. Why? You know, a phrase I love from South Africa is, if I'm honest. If I'm honest. I love that phrase because what else would you be? I wouldn't be anything but honest. That's the thing, you know. Now, people misspeak or you make a mistake where you quote something. I've been quoting the lower figure for the land acquisition of $29.9 billion. It's actually $58 billion according to the media, and I found multiple sources that indicate that. So now I'm starting to say $58 billion, but I was wrong because I didn't have updated data. So sometimes you don't get things right, but if you're honest about it and you're correct with people, then they can trust you. Yep. I'm an orphan. Will you adopt me? Says Val. You got that from Google? Oh, Sylvester, don't be bringing Google stuff here. Are you going to be watching UFC? No, I don't watch UFC. I don't care for UFC. Although I wandered into it in Las Vegas. I was in Vegas a few years ago for the rugby sevens tournament, and I was walking through the MGM Grand. I think it was the MGM Grand. And I'm walking, and I route this way, and I walk between the little stanchions, the little ropes they put up. And walking, and I went down. It was like a dog leg, an L shape, and I go this way. And next thing, it just stops. People in front of me, about 10 people. And I look up. There's a little stage up there, and the guy's up there with a belt, and his thin guy. Could have been Dricus back then. I don't know. And I'm like, "What's this?" Oh man, UFC autographs. I'm like, UFC? Isn't that where they kick each other in the face and pretend to box? So I excused myself, went under the rope, and continued to the casino. Don't Forex markets close over the weekends? I don't know. These days, with automation, if that stuff is still going. The price for African Saudi will be too high. Are you asking what that question means? The price means that they would have to surrender their culture and give it up. Folks, if you leave South Africa, if you have the illusion that your children and grandchildren will be Afrikaners, you're wrong. They'll be Brits, Aussies, Kiwis, Germans, Norwegians, citizens anyway, or Americans. Yeah, they won't be what you were, if that matters to you. You're welcome for all the news. My pleasure. Do you think it's obvious ANC would choose to make money? I still don't understand what you're asking, Tracy. That's the second time you put up there. The Bombarded News, make a scroll at the bottom screen what a refugee is. I'm not going to do that. I don't have a scrolling thing. What's your dollar to rand predictions for next week? Oh, that's tough, Tyler. That's a fool's errand. I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit 23 to 1 very quickly and probably go to 25. But I mean, that's, it's all kinds of factors come into play there. You can't predict currency markets with accuracy. You can try. Mark Magis, thanks for all the info. Hope one day shake your hand. Well, I come to South Africa frequently, Mark. I'll probably be there in May for my next trip. Presuming the ANC doesn't, ship me to St. Helena. I'll came up. Thank you for coming. I covered the elections last year. I come about every 6 months. I do meet and greets all over the country. You better be ready to work. No NC labor laws. That's right. Work hard. Remember, you are a guest here, correct? Did you see that DA was blocked? I did, Burtis, and I reported on it early in this stream. Yep, and they think they're part of a government. They're not. They're just the bitch boys for the National Democratic Revolution, and they still haven't woken up to that reality. Yep, they haven't woken up to that reality. It's unfortunate. Charles Pretorius Wanatu can move to the USA now. I'm talking about South African land to black citizens. Ah, okay. Thank you, Tracy. Okay. Awesome. Been watching you all day. Clarity given on this channel. Far spirit. Well, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. At least we're better immigrants than the drug and exactly. You're willing to work and start over. Ask yourself this before even thinking. Going, yep, exactly. Afriform Solidarity does not speak for us who want to go. I was annoyed at their media statement this afternoon. I want to go, so does my family. Listen, Micah, you shouldn't be upset or annoyed with Afriform. They have a responsibility to protect the interest of Afrikaners in South Africa. Their interest, they say they've got the foundation, which is worldwide, but don't be upset with them. South African, Afrikaners don't come from Europe. They come from Africa. They're an amalgamation of Dutch, French Huguenot, Germans, Khoisan, and others, and built their own culture and own language and their own heritage. You don't find Afrikaners. They didn't come from Frisia. They didn't come from Baden-Württemberg. They didn't come from the Languedoc region of France. They came from South Africa. And when they leave South Africa, they stop being Afrikaners. So Afriform of Solidarity is simply standing up for cultural reasons to protect people and protect that community. So I understand where they're coming from. Everyone thinks this is a lifeline to be a refugee in another country. You will be the lowest rung of society. That's simply not true, Steve. That's not true. As I said, I've known people who come here as refugees and they're living better than Americans, many of them pretty quickly. There's lots of opportunity here. That's the difference, the land of opportunity. We should file a multi-billion-dollar class action suit against YouTube. Well, yeah, that'd be nice. I would win. I have the receipts. I still have the emails this prick sent me when they could cancel my channel and attacked all my videos, and there's nothing in it that violated the rules. Honda's King, you're welcome. Thank you for following the content. Who's very smart, Beth? I'm going to share your channel with all my friends. Well, thank you for that, Heidi Krug. That's what we're asking for. Appreciate that. What is the best state for us to stay in? Is a question I've been asked 35 times in the past 12 hours. It depends on what's best for you. I'm in central Pennsylvania. I don't think it's the best state. It's where I'm at. It's okay. It's a beautiful state. It's lots of opportunity here. I'm close to D.C., but not there. I'm close to New York, but not there. Close to Philadelphia, but not there. And the mountains are just outside my house, 2 kilometers that way. World-class fly fishing. I don't fly fish. There's skiing right over here. And the cost of living is tolerable. It's not high like in the big cities, but it's not dirt cheap either. But I prefer Wyoming, but I don't live in Wyoming. I love Colorado. It's beautiful, but the politics are broken. I love Idaho. But Afrikaners aren't going to enjoy Idaho or Colorado because it's cold as shit there. If you're from Durban, you're probably like the deep south because of the humidity and the heat. You're accustomed to it. Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Gulf Coast. If you're from the high felt, then you're probably going to like New Mexico, Arizona, high desert chaparral, parts of Colorado, Nebraska. That fits exactly what you're accustomed to. Yeah, if you're from the Western Cape, then you want to come here, you probably like California. But I wouldn't go to California these days. So that's hard to say, Hans. Which is the best state? Excuse me. WrestleMania. That's not something that interests me. All right. Charles Pretorius. Okay, talking to each other. I just hope the Afrikaners that do go behave themselves. Yep. All right. Even the deep blue states are a massive improvement over South Africa. Chris, if you need transport on your next visit to South Africa, find me at Trip and Drop. Free rides, free chats, Western Cape only. Anton, okay. I usually have a hire, but maybe if I want to go out and drink or something like that, because I don't drink and drive. But I usually have a hire to get around, just for simplicity's sake. I typically give lots of presentations, public appearances, speeches, do research, go into townships, go into resorts, go into businesses. So I need that flexibility. But I'm not familiar with that. Trip and Drop. Montana, they say I love it and tell them, yeah, Montana's nice. Not eastern Montana. It's like... Western Montana is gorgeous. Cape Town would not mind Texas. It's not the same. If I'm honest, truth be told, South African minority hasn't been this excited since Drake has jumped over the shake Trump's hand. That's funny. You guys are killing it, man. 1,000 likes, 500 people here, 7,800 tuned in. One thing I promise is 90% Afrikaners you get will be a huge investment in your country. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but you're just a drop in a bucket. You're not gonna move the needle much. That's not why they do it. Trump's doing it because it's the right and moral thing to do. Yeah, don't judge anything by what's online. It's utter nonsense, you know. You can't, yeah. And remember that places are big, you know. I'm in Chicago. By the airport, it's a cesspool of rubbish under the highway right by the airport where I was staying. But downtown Chicago is gorgeous. Boggles my mind that South Africa is a rainbow nation. It really isn't. Rosalind's here. Sea monkeys. One passport expired 50 years ago. Wow. 2 million Safas versus around 30 million Americans. Live in different parts of Durban. Plenty animosity against whites in Durban Central. Yes, Malcolm. Hey, Malcolm. How's it going? How's the boat, man? Really appreciate your work. It's been very helpful. Normally, you can't get news from anywhere that aren't apologists for the ANC. Well, I've been doing this forever. 5 years now. Been censored, been harassed, had my channel removed. Then they gave it back 2 years later after they damaged it, you know, so it's back. But yeah, they did the harm to my channel. So I've had right-wingers who claim to be, helping South Africans, but they're not, attack me. I've had leftists, black supremacists, white liberals attack me. Yeah, so it'll keep coming. And now that my channel is growing again, they'll come back. There'll be more of these scumbags coming. Guarantee it. So that video that, talks about what I said this morning is at 69,000 now. So it's approaching 1,000 subscribers off one video. And Tian CJ Else, thank you for your subscription. How long would it take for South Africa recovery if everything stopped today and the government changed to someone with a brain? A long time, Christian. Peter say the damage is so extensive. It's going to take 10 to 15 years to fix South Africa's infrastructure if you had the resources to do it and the engineers and the people in country to do it. If everything stopped, if the stupidity stopped now and you can invite people who are South Africans to come back to South Africa, you could accelerate that, but they'd have to be willing to come back. A lot of people get comfortable when they're overseas. But there's so much damage that's been done, it's going to take a long time because you got to fix the rails, you got to fix the roads, you got to fix the ports, you got to fix the airports, you got to fix government structure, services. It's all over the place. It would take a long time. And you need sustained 6.5% GDP growth year on year minimum just to get out of the poverty deficit that South Africa's in. You have to understand that the number of people living in poverty in South Africa today is 3 times what it was under the National Party. Tens of millions and more South Africans live in abject poverty today than at any point under apartheid. And it's going to take a long time to generate enough economic growth that creates enough jobs to give people decent living so they can buy homes and buy cars and move out of that shithole level. It's going to take time. Yeah, it's a long time. Historically, it takes at least as long for countries to break it. Yep. People make mistake. You who want to go, you are going to work and help society. It's no holiday. Yep. What is that? I worked in the U.S. Hang on a second. I worked in the U.S. and I didn't play. I worked, so don't think it's going to be a holiday. Jean Isnad says, glad to subscribe. Keep it up, Chris. Well, you're very welcome, Sean. Thanks for being here. 30 to 50 years to be economic and comparable. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, Peter, but yeah, that might be the case. Micah says South Africa's going to keep going down the drain. And Mike Danvers says, thanks for your channel. You're very welcome for that. Please check out my other stuff. Now I'm curious to see if anybody actually went and watched the Groot Constantia video. I'm going to go see that now. Groot Constantia. Okay. Because I asked people to watch it. Let me see if anybody actually watched it. I had 700 people when I asked earlier. Oh, yeah. We got 105. So 1 out of 7 went. Thank you for that, folks. And I got a few subscribers. Okay, thank you for that. That's cool. I appreciate it. The Groot Constantia video. I'm desperate to get that thing actually some views. The filmmaker did a great job on that. Juan, he did a great job. Okay. Takes 6 months to fix a mess and the rest of your career to make it. Yeah, okay, there you go. Hey, you're probably the only person that pronounces my name correctly. Are you serious? Jean Days is not. Well, Miss B just gave 200 Rand. Oh, cool beans. Do you think the U.S. would support Cape independence? And what are your thoughts on its viability? Okay, Miss B, I would have doubted that until Trump took action last week. Now, I think it's possible he would endorse it. He would recognize a free Cape. I think he would. Because of what's happening in South Africa, particularly if they came with a non-racial constitution and actually started applying it. Is it viable? Of course it's viable. If Slovakia can survive as a country, the Western Cape can. Western Cape has the human capital, has the resource, it has the environment, it has the agriculture. It could survive just fine. It could create its own military, its own border security, its own police. Yeah, I've had all these discussions with Hein Marks, Des Palm, and Phil Craig and others about this. So anyway, Maddie Free Spirit, hi from South. Hello, Maddie. How are you? Do you think other countries will follow this example? I don't think so. Although somebody says something about Australia is talking about, sanctioning or punishing South Africa. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, folks. After 25 minutes, still pointless. So did Italy win? Did they hold on? Demographics don't lie. Western Cape time is limited, just 10 years behind Gauteng. Not if you stop the bleeding. Low IQ, 20 Australian dollars. Wants me to emphasize it'll be hard. And he's speaking from experience, having immigrated to Australia. It will be hard, but if it's going to be hard, it's a lot easier to do it in America than in other places. A lot easier. We have mobility. Americans move around a lot. We have great infrastructure, despite the lies told by Joe Biden and others. We have a functioning society. It's easy to build credit if you're responsible. Italy won. Yay! I got that Super Brew right. Yes, it is hard, but it's a lot easier here than it is in Australia, New Zealand, UK. Much easier than it is in the UK. That's for damn sure. So let me go to my Super Brew and see what my prediction was, because I predicted Italy would win it, but I think I went with 5. So live results. I picked Italy by 5. That's what I picked. They won by 7. I've got France by 10, and I had the Stormers, but the Stormers lost. Tomorrow I'll be covering Scotland versus Ireland on Rugby Ascendant. Anybody wants to tune in for that, you're welcome to join me, okay? Let me see if Making South Africa Great Again has any more applicants. Nope, no more. Okay, all right. So, yep, where are we at now? I have Safa friends in Florida. They are enjoying it very much. Texas is great too. Well, you can have both those places. Too hot, too humid, not interested me. Been to both of them. Jean says, my daughter, Mike, and son, Kian, are watching. They would love you to mention their names. So is it Micah? Let me get my glasses on. Sorry, I just started wearing reading glasses this past year. So it is Micah and Kian. Well, Micah and Kian, hello to you. Goeiedag. I'm glad that you're listening. Thanks for being here. I don't know how old those kids are, if they're children or they're adults, but welcome to them. Oh, thank you for your... Oh, that's a subscription. Arxis just became a member. Thank you, Arxis. You'll say, won't want me because I'm wrong side. Nope, Madman, it doesn't matter. There's your membership. Thank you. Nope. Your age doesn't matter. Refugee, does not matter. Does not matter. You be 92 or 2, it doesn't matter. You can come. Mika. Well, that's not how it's spelled. It's spelled Micah. You guys spell it backwards, man. See, I speak German, and that's phonetically, it's Micah. So Mika. It is Kian, right, though? Mika. So, sorry, Mika, if I got your name wrong. That's how I would spell it. Would be Meeka, would be Mika. All right, so is that better? Do you think other countries will follow? No, I don't think they will. I just answered that question, man. Jagstadt, welcome back. When last have you slept? Thanks from Feldrift. Petra, I got an hour this morning. I was up all night doing the 4-hour stream. Then I made the prepared video, which is like 70,000 views now. And then I went to bed for an hour and I got up and prepped for the rugby. And I did the rugby and I was disappointed the Stormers choked away a victory. Clayton Blomicki's missed from in front of the post. I can make that shot. Lots of condemned bridges spans in Mississippi. Infrastructure definitely has issues. Oh, please stop it, Holden. Stop it. Nonsense. I got bridges out here built in 1910 that get annually inspected and they're still serviceable. Give me a break. My comment for this one about how executive orders can't contravene laws and confess controls the purse. What's your comment, Bob? I didn't see a comment from you. It's the first time I've seen you chip in for a while there. Oh, there it is. Okay. I went and did research. An executive order cannot undo laws that put USA in place. Trump needs both houses to vote. No, that's actually not true. That's undecided. It was created by an executive order. However, Congress then passed a law which either made independent or put in the State Department back in the late 1990s under Clinton. So no, that's a legal question. So, and it's a fait accompli. It's already done. So it really doesn't matter. So they can take it all they want to court. There'll be no USAID. They already ripped the name off the building in D.C. and they fired 9,707 people. They're gone. So, if they weren't reconstituted, good luck with that. So, yeah, but thank you for doing the research, Baba, but that's a partially correct statement. It's created by executive order. It can be taken away by executive order. Congress stuck their nose in it by changing the status of it, and that makes it legally questionable as to whether Trump can do it, but it doesn't bar. It'll have to go to a court to decide. Donner Pass got 19 feet of snow. That's a lot. That's a lot. No, Italy didn't win World War II. They won the rugby today. What is your view on Afrikaner self-determination? Well, I don't think it's a particularly wise idea. How are you going to do it? Afrikaners are everywhere. You know, you're a small percentage population everywhere, except in Oranje, you know, and in Linwood. That's the only other place where you're high density, you know. So I don't know. I mean, it's your prerogative if you want to pursue it, but I don't think it's practical. Great. Sorry I joined late. I'm a Rhodesian, born South African, and watching the same way. Yeah, it is heartbreaking, Maddie. Whereabouts in Rhodesia? Okay, so I saw your comment. Thank you. Madman is back. Okay, so I stopped voting DA ages ago. Yep. Okay. Carl says, do you know of any country other than Rwanda that has recovered from such a situation? Yeah. From a worse situation, South Korea. South Korea was rubble in 1953. It was completely destroyed. It wasn't until the 1980s that South Korea overtook North Korea. North Korea is more prosperous and healthier and wealthier than South Korea was. But from the 1980s to the 2000, in 20 years, South Korea completely turned that country around. Politically, socially, economically. It's a powerhouse now. That's one country. It was completely obliterated. Japan, we completely obliterated cities. Germany, completely obliterated. Germany was rubble in 1945. And already by 1952, they're talking about the Wirtschaftswunder, the miracle, economic miracle. Colonel, you're right. There's a super chat. You are right. Australia won't do anything special with the current Labour government. Yeah, I don't think so. They're leftist loonies. France scored a try. Well, that helps my super brew. And Baba's back. What did he say? No, it doesn't mean the law was broken. It does not. It does not. The president is asserting the law, asserting the authority, the executive authority that created it. If people disagree with that, then they go to court and find out whether the court agrees it was broken or not. Rugby union, face. Hands down. I went to the Rugby League World Cup in the UK. Got my mug here somewhere down there. But yeah, I went to, it was enjoyable. I liked it, but rugby union, hands down. What do I think of Utah? I love Utah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. How are things? You seem down or mad? Down? Mad? No. Where are you getting that from? What do you think of the regulations to be southern? Arno, I have no idea, and it would be pure speculation, and I don't think there's any value in it. I think the issue has to be the definition of Afrikaner or the expansion of the group of people who qualify, because this means a lot of people. If this is the standard he wants to go with, then, and he should, then he needs to change this. It needs to be adjusted. For Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. Coloreds are victims of unjust racial discrimination. Indians are victims of unjust racial discrimination. Whites, all whites are victims of it. And even a small number of blacks are victims of it. So it should expand to those folks. So it'd be hard to say what the rules will be for this. And I don't know. And we need to hear more from the government. So hang in there. It will come. It will come. Yeah, Bruce, I like Utah. Beautiful place. Bulawayo. I've been to Bulawayo, Maddie. Yeah. I've been down to Matopos, too. Been where Cecil Rhodes is buried. Mind you, it does look boring, yes. NFL is not the same as rugby. Got to wait for State Department to figure it out. Exactly. Go to court about USAID, and the judge is like, what are you talking about? There is no such entity. Exactly, Zelda. You are getting my point. You are getting my point. Just like the ANC. No, it's not expropriation without compensation. And then they start taking farms. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, there's no compensation. I mean, was that unclear? Yep. I think people don't understand how many jobs are at stake because it's, the whole economy. 600 American businesses operate in South Africa. Many of those use South Africa's regional headquarters. The SPK, I mentioned that earlier. Didn't say the number, though. I used to work Cool Beans. Haven't heard that since I worked over there. Well, that's because you haven't been watching my program. I say it frequently. Oops, back to here. Okay. Not asylum, refugee, and we don't know yet. Exactly. Mike said, I came in late. Can the government fully go against the refugee plan and prevent us from leaving? Well, sure, the government can do anything they want, but the Israelis have set standard for this. They flew military aircraft in to airlift Jews and evacuate them from places where governments wouldn't let them out. And do you think the way that the ANC is intentionally irritating, pissing off Donald Trump and insulting America every single day? Friday they did it at Sona, Thursday they did it at Sona, Friday they did it in this declaration. They did it again today, lying about America and what's going on, trying to hide the expropriation and hide their connections to the Iranians, the mullahs. If they keep doing that stuff, don't be shocked if Americans fly C-17s in and pick people up at some point. Yep. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Argentina did 360 yet? Well, yeah, but the country isn't back yet. YBX Argentina is still poorer than it was in 1930, but it's on the right path. Those other countries are soaring despite things being destroyed. And Argentina never went through the destruction that South Korea went through or Germany went through. I believe on Monday, a lot of Afrikaners will flog. Yeah, okay. Really excited for the USA rugby team. Rudy, I don't know. I'm not that excited. They've been kind of middling. I do know the coach, Scott Lawrence. He was a coach at Atlanta. He's a good guy. Okay, South Korea has 3 families contributing more than half GDP. Executives have no choice but to Samsung, Hyundai. LG? Is that the other one? What about Daewoo? There are thousands of South Korean countries. Boy, you love to generalize, don't you there? Yep. Can you all just please wait till the Rugby World Cup? In a just world, your phone would be ringing off the hook. You should be booked on all the news channels for now. Yeah, no. I should be on Fox News and CBS and all this stuff because none of these people know what the hell they're talking about. But I won't be. It's not a just world. That's okay. I can live with that. Yep, you're right. My phone should be ringing off the hook right now. People trying to get me for interviews and talk this stuff. Yep, you're right. I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good point. I'm just checking in on Stuttgart. Come on, my phone. Looking for me. Come on. There we go. Oh, my phone's low. Let me put a charge on that bad boy down to 20% because I was using it all night. There we go. Put it in the cradle. Let it charge. Do you help foreign state explaining? Help foreign state explaining. I can Google, but I think you will give the truth. What's your question, Johan van Dalen? Help foreign state? I don't know what that means. What do you mean? You want me to explain what the State Department is? Erica's passport's current. Well, that's good. Well, yeah, Muslim South Africans, but most Muslim South Africans tend to be colored, so I just lump them into that group. Many, or Indian, excuse me. Jumped ahead on me here. Gave a definition of kind of people and for Hano Fisaki because people been inundating the chat with that for 3 hours and then for 4 hours earlier. I don't need any definition of what an Afrikaner is. You know, you all don't have a definition. You have 8,000 definitions. If I put 10 Afrikaners in one room, I'll get 14 opinions and 13 leaders out of 10 people. I'm not ignoring it, Hano. I've been talking about it all night. You weren't here. And some of these people have been here throughout the stream, so I'm not ignoring it. I've just covered it over and over and over again. And it doesn't change anything. How does it add to the argument? Other than, again, you're trying to tell me, you're giving me a definition. Your definition doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one iota. It doesn't matter what you think, what Erica thinks, what I think. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's what the State Department. If the State Department says an Afrikaner is somebody that speaks Tswana and is blind to their left eye and has one finger on their right hand, then that's an Afrikaner. It's up to the State Department to define what that means. It might mean all white people. Might mean all white people and all colored people. Might mean all white people, all colored people, and all Indians. And they changed the language of it. It doesn't matter what we think. It just doesn't matter. Hano, I hope you didn't take that the wrong way. I'm just trying to explain to you that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Renew my passport a year before it expires. Most countries don't accept it. It's 6 months. You're correct. That's usually what they problem. AM risk training. I'm looking at April, May. Self-determination section 235 is very difficult. Yeah, determined by national legislation, exactly. Baba says, what if Democratic executives in 2029 chooses to undo all Trump's work? He set the tone and they will follow. Well, okay, that's a very broad question, Baba. What do you mean by undo all his work? Are you saying people that are in the country have been given immigration status stripped of that? That's highly unlikely, and that would be subject to a court and would probably be struck down. If you mean, will they reinstitute the nonsense that biological males can participate in girls' sports? That could be done, sure. Unless a law is passed, if Congress passes a law, and then the executive order can't override that. And the executive order only applies to the executive branch anyway. The only reason it applies to the states is because they take federal money, and he has oversight of the federal money. So I'm not really sure your question is overly broad. I've done my best to answer it, unless you give me more clarity. Hercules, thank you for your membership, and I apologize for missing it. You're invited to USA, the greatest country in the world, and you're asking about how good it'll be there. Seriously. Yeah, exactly. 7-7. Oh, come on, France. South African government might make things difficult for you when you leave, like messing with money, try to take it out with you. Yeah, we've talked about that as well. Electrical infrastructure is also oh my God, Holden. No, it's not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Tell me who doesn't have electricity and where their load shedding is out in the United States. Oh my God. Why do you do this? You just spread nonsense. They sound like the Democrats. So we need they deny Trump an infrastructure bill that he put in place. And they're like, oh, Trump didn't get it done. Then they have the vote that they pass it. And but they fill it full of pork. Oh, we did infrastructure. And all they do is build highways around D.C. Build infrastructure. And they steal the rest of the money. Look, all infrastructure needs upgrade. It's a constant battle, Holden. I don't know what you're getting out here. I mean, at least we have plans to address it here and to check on it here and inspect it here and a life cycle to replace it. There's currently a case in the High Court fighting it where government already expropriated the land. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. It's not Ackerland because they sold it. Can Irania legally become a sovereign state? Not to my knowledge. About my baby's future, says Mike. Okay. What does on CNN mean? I'm sure that Chris didn't ignore your post. It was an accident. It was not an accident. Didn't see it. That's different. Trump was proving that even with his America First policy, he's president for the world. Exactly. He's making the world a better place. YouTube is doing dropping network again. Yeah, that happens, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm frozen over here. So I got to drop that and come back to it. Right. Yep, see if I can't get it live again. Yep, I lost it, so. Are we back? Come on. Fox won't pay you into it. I'll go to USA. Nothing keeps me in South Africa. Spoke to a Korean contractor once. He painted a picture of God, kings, and these families and the crazy wealth disparity between Chable and regular people. Okay, well, I mean, that's that person's view, but I mean, I can show you people in America that make the same sort of claims too. I'm not really sure how that's germane, but South Korea is a massive success story. Massive success story. People were starving in the streets of Seoul and Busan in 1950s after the war. Starving. Nobody's starving in Korea today. They got K-pop all over the place. All right. Ronaldo says, please share the image of the X post I shared. Okay. All right, Ronaldo, you're back. I didn't know you were here. Image. Is that the Black Land First moron? Is that who that is, Ronaldo? Hang on. I'll get it up here. Okay. So races expose themselves all the time, folks. So I guess that's what Ronaldo wants me to show you. Is that what you want me to show? There you go. So Andili Mkitama MP, is he from Blacklands? Yes, people can follow what I said above when they report him. Oh, there you go. There you go. What outcome do you want? There you go. Taking the South African Human Rights Commission. There you go. All right, folks. There you start a campaign against this guy. They're calling for the murder of white South Africans. Oh, MK Party. Okay, that's why I recognize the name. Yeah, MK. Thank you. I knew that. I couldn't think. I must be tired. Wow. Michael Smith's great uncle was never recovered. Yeah, I had an uncle that died in World War II. Took out the Nazis. He was a pilot in Tunisia, and he was on his last mission. He took out the replacement squadron that came in, and he was a first lieutenant or captain. I'm trying to remember. I think it's captain. Yeah, captain. And they took them out. They were like on a training flight, and they went out over the Med, and he was there, and then the new guys were there along with their commander, and German planes came out of nowhere from Sicily or something like that and engaged them in a dogfight. They were outnumbered. And so he went into the fray and directed all the new people to fly back to Tunisia. And he flew into it. And apparently, if I remember the report, also the commander of that squad also flew with him. And they were shot down over the Med, and their bodies were never recovered. His name is on a plaque there at the American Cemetery in Carthage in Tunisia. And yeah. You'll get 20 leaders to 10 Afrikaners in a room. Again, listen to what he is saying. I think in my head, if I think Chris feels as the first to run at the sound of gun. Okay, I know it's the violence I'm worried about. A year or two to get refugee status. Stop on. No. Okay, what you should expect. Trump would not have done this if he was expecting a year or two. Nothing in Trump's world is moving on a year timeline. Everything's moving on a 24, 48-hour timeline right now. Gerhard Groenewoud, welcome to you. Trump said that this must be to prioritize. All right, so I read that as expediting. Okay, now that's my opinion. But if they're going to do this, they're going to do it quickly. Is Mighty Jamie on again? Okay. Chris, if we come to USA, can we have California? We have rights for independence. You can have California. I'm sure we'll hear more news next week. Absolutely. Chris, is there a limit to South Africans? No, there's no limit here. Someone earlier mentioned they were getting the news. I think they were getting it off of Google or something like that about a cap of how many refugees. The USA normally takes, before the Biden regime, 30 to 50,000 asylum seekers or refugees per year, or 30,000 to 50,000 under this program from around the world. But we took 160,000 Afghans alone in 1 year, and we took like 229,000 refugees that year, which is insane. Well, compared to Turkey, it's nothing, but it's insane for us. So this program hasn't been defined. Who knows what the number will be? I don't know that Texas is similar to Afrikaner culture. I don't think so at all. You're just looking at, flat prairies and thinking it's the same. It's not. Excited about new neighbors when I remembered we're going to have to take Ronaldo. Light rain. Trump moving fast before 100 days up, and he'll get things done as quick as possible. Yep. Presidential determination. That's. Are you talking about that? Okay, that froze the program. That was on January 20th. He froze the program. So it was unfrozen for Afrikaners last night, and it has yet to be determined what that means. That executive order won't apply because that executive order stopped all refugee resettlement on January 20th. That's why they lost their mind. Oh, you can't stop taking refugees. It's heartless. Trump said review the program. That's what you're referring to from 2025. Last night, he signed an executive order saying to prioritize Afrikaners and get them in here. I would like to know if the discriminatory law of South Africa defines black as coloreds and Indians included, how would they be able to qualify? Okay, Super MJ23, we don't give a shit what South Africa classifies people as. It doesn't matter what the government of South Africa defines a black and a white and an Indian. It doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with the government of South Africa. It's the United States. The United States government decides. If the United States government decides that the only people that offer Connors or Bora, or the Eshtaburki, they're the only ones that count, then that's who it is. If they decide that the only Afrikaners are coloreds who speak Kapsa in the Western Cape, then that's who it is. Now, that's not going to happen. Don't run off and tell people I said that. I'm just trying to make a point to you. It doesn't matter what the government of South Africa says. This isn't a government of South Africa program. This is an American program. We decide, our government, under Donald Trump. Doesn't matter what people say. Yappy, okay, gosh, I guess people you were here earlier. I've said this at least a dozen times in the stream, this alone. Sure. Block you. What do you mean block your passports? At the airport, they won't you leave? Okay. So Trump flies C-17s in and picks people up. The Israelis did it. The way that the ANC is going out of its way to antagonize Trump in the United States and insult us on a daily basis, every day it's a new affront. Thursday we got an affront. Friday we got an affront. This morning we got an affront. Every day they're the insult to America. Do they really think this can go unchallenged? They're still in AGOA. That's disappearing very soon. Stupid stuff. What did Trump say? Oh my God, are you just... It's like... It's 7:44 at night. You don't know about this? It's yesterday. Trump said we're not going to give any more aid to South Africa, and he's opened a refugee resettlement program for Afrikaners who've been racially discriminated against. Judge Zondo and his wife personally invited each and every neighbor over for tea to thank them personally. Well, Ryan, I don't think they're going to say anything about it. Hey, thank you, Belinda. Thank you for subscribing. I went to their website, and they still didn't have any statement up there. They're way behind. The Freedom Front Plus put something out, but they've put nothing out. Wow. So let me go back to here. Where's it at? There it is. The DA, I'll see if they put something new out. DA Newsroom, all they're doing is bitching about not having been led into the G20. Nope, that's it. They haven't commented on this. Their heads are probably melting right now. The National Executive or Leadership Council, whatever they call it in the DA, their heads are probably melting. Now, what do we do? What do we say? What do we do now? Oh my gosh, we didn't say anything about expropriation, but then we told people we didn't believe in it was unconstitutional. We're going to take it to court, but they didn't believe us because we didn't really take any action. And now, what are you supposed to do? Oh my gosh, I can see it right now. That's the DA. What's an Afrikaans girlfriend? Does that qualify me? Not quite, Slippery Pickle. Awesome, yeah, but I think they will delay or block people getting passports. They could do that. Well, as someone said, the United States can take people who are given refugee status and give them travel documents. We can provide those. It depends on what direction Trump wants to go with the program. A lot of stuff can happen. We can fly C-17s in and land them at Waterkloof, land them at Cape Town International, land them at OR Tambo, and just take people on the plane and start flying them out. And, we could even get, friendly states like Botswana to house you temporarily. That way we get more people out. We just, rent a bunch of places or put some massive tents up in Botswana. And then we fly into Joburg and to Cape Town. We fly up to Gaborone, drop you off there. You get processed. And then you go through a process. You're there for 3 days, a week or something like that. And you're flown back to the States while we're bringing thousands and thousands more out. There's lots of ways to do this, folks. Frankly, I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think the number of people that are going to ask to try to get out is going to be small, and most people are going to try to stay. That's my view on it. Oh, there you go. Jean Des Isnots just said things look bleak, but we're staying. Oh, don't buy a house. No, your house will be worth nothing. Yeah. Hi, Chris. Great program. If the minorities can be refugees, just say, do you think that the rest of society due to their perceived inequality will result in violence? I caution people. Hey, Cairo. I caution people to be careful in South Africa. I did that last night when this news broke, and I tell them that again today. Be careful. You'll become a target for bigots and racists who will blame you, and you've got nothing to do with what's going on here. Chris, are we going nowhere? This land is my land. Mark, why would you? Oh, you're going to stay there. Gotcha. How am I doing? Anime channel. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I think you'll find 100% of 1,000s wanting to leave. Okay. I'll be the first in the queue, says Maddie. What if you're 50% Afrikaans but cultural English? Then you're Afrikaans, are you not? Gosh, you kill me. I keep telling you. Anyway, so. All right, 8,815 people been here for this one. I've been on for 3 hours and 15 minutes in addition to the 4 hours I live streamed last night, plus the video I made earlier. Please type your comments. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I will probably come on later in the day. I'm also going to try to invite tomorrow some South Africans to come on my program and have a conversation about this. Have a roundtable and a forum. I'd like to do that. So, yeah, I was not on earlier. Oh, you weren't on earlier, Yappy? I'm sorry. Sure looked like I saw that on earlier. AfriForum on Times said they never said land grabs are happening. I don't recall AfriForum ever saying there were land grabs happening. They refuted that. Someone tried to pollute the water by putting out a fake report back in 2018 or 2020, whatever it was. Yeah, I don't recall them saying that. I can't say that unequivocally that they never did it, but I don't recall them saying that. And I've never said. I said people are occupying, but this has been going on forever. That's why the Joburg Metro pays the Red Ants to beat people's heads and steal their mobile phones and chase them off of government land. That's been happening forever. Land invasion has been happening since '94. But the government's always pushed them off until recently. That's the only thing that's changed. Okay, Chris will be back later. Is Ronaldo coming on anytime soon? I don't know. A person not having Afrikaans as his home language is not Afrikaner. Okay, Hano, again, it doesn't matter what you say. Why are you got a hard-on for this? It doesn't matter what you say. You and I don't get to pick who an Afrikaner is for the American United States Refugee Admissions Program. You and I don't get to say. The State Department does. And that's all that matters in this conversation about that. Spot on, Chris. I won't be making that mistake again of locking up my money and property. Yeah, no. I'm not a big fan. That's why home ownership. No. Liquid assets that you can move and are fungible. There you go. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I do own a home. Well, the bank owns it, but anyway. People talking about losing their culture. You can make my community any community you want. There's whole tribes. Yeah, well, yes and no. Well done, Chris. Thanks for the great stream. You're very welcome. I do appreciate what you do for South there, says Rolf. Chris, thanks for your dedication to our plight. You're welcome. Does Fisaki mean soft? Stop that. You're going to get in trouble. 7,400 land. So, yeah, exactly. Charles, I've been reporting this forever, 74. Now they're claiming it's 84, but that's 74,000 plus, and they're all resolved almost 20 years ago. Few will actually go. My feelings are that it might be jobless, possibly the not so. Yeah, there you go. All right, that's it, folks. Thank you. I will please ask you go watch my content. If you can watch, if the people can go watch the Ruth Constantia video, I'd appreciate that. Thanks for the subscriptions. Keep telling people about my channel. Check my content, especially last 2 weeks. You're going to find all kinds of insightful stuff. Make sure when you look at it, you look at the date of the thing because I made predictions before they happened. Don't come and go, well, that's already happened. Well, yeah, I predicted before it happened. Now you're telling me 2 weeks later that I predicted it too late. Well, it's 2 weeks ago, okay? You're wrong by shouting. What's this? I'm wrong by shouting? I'm not shouting. You want to hear shouting? I'll give you shouting. I'm not shouting. What are you talking about shouting? Good God. More like a live weekend, yeah. No, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what I say, and I'm not wrong, dude. What are you so obsessed with the definition of an Afrikaner? It doesn't matter what we say. The government decides. My ears, yeah, there you go. So that's shouting. You don't know what shouting is. You don't know what a rant is. You want to hear a rant? Hang around this channel. You hear them occasionally. It's doesn't matter what you and I say, Hano. It's up to the government. You can disagree with me. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's take a bet. All right. Your definition of Afrikaner is what will be decided by the U.S. government. All right. I have no idea what they're going to decide. All right. Oh my God, Hano. All right. Okay. Hano means well. Okay. So Hano. You mean well, Hano Fisaki, okay? And you're not trolling. But you're not understanding, brother. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. I don't care what you call yourself. Boer, Buriki, Afrikaner. It doesn't matter. It matters to you. And that's wonderful. I'm an American. That's important to me. I respect what you describe yourself as, how you feel. That's your culture, that's your community, that's your identity. And that's awesome. I go to great lengths to promote Afrikaners and Afrikaans. Great lengths. And Tswana. and Lesotho. But it doesn't matter. The U.S. government is not going to come to you or to the Sightlander Civil Defense Organization or to the Boer Legion or to AfriForum or to Solidarity or to Dear SA for a definition of Afrikaner. They're going to determine what an Afrikaner is. Hanno, are you black? Are you colored? Are you Indian? Is that the concern? If that's your concern, I get where you're coming from. Oh, fuck off, asshole. You're a piece of fucking human filth. You're gone. You're gone. You're going to be a little dipshit. Fuck off. You know, see, this is the kind of moronic, self-loathing, masturbating losers that come on here. I tolerated this piece of shit for too long. Fuck off. Piss off. Oh, my God. Little shitheads. Wasting my fucking time. And wasting your time. Fucking moron. Go masturbate in the corner and get your jollies, you know? Fucking dipshit. Anyway, Elsa Boshoff, thank you for, I hope the kids weren't listening, for all your info. Much appreciate. You're such a wonderful person. I watched your program for a while. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Elsa. I really appreciate your subscription. Thank you for being here. Our news saying America's racist because Afrikaner to them is only white people. That's their interpretation. The government hasn't defined it. See, Baba's going to identify as a Boer. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Look, fuck around and find out. Right here on this channel, man. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Don't diss masturbators. D. Blixman said, if you were discriminated against by BE laws, you qualify because ANC discriminated against you on grounds of race. Well, that's an interpretation on your part, and I think it's a reasonable interpretation, but we don't know that it's correct interpretation. Okay, so gosh bless it. First off, the guy wanted attention. You know, he's like, hey, you know, I read my comments. I read my comments. And Eric is like, oh, it's just an accident. It's not an accident. I've already discussed that many times. Oh, my gosh. Boy, it takes all kinds, you know. It takes all kinds. Anyway, the banhammer came. That's right. I don't know. I'm a Dutch Afrikaner. Okay. Who now? Had to wait it, man. Had to wait it for me to do that. Oh, Charmaine. Almost nobody here is an asshole. Almost nobody is a jerk. You know. Apparently, there have been over 1,000 requests on info to leave. 10,000. To whom, old king? Who's been asked for that? The embassy? Not slept to share info, and we've been trying to help and get this shit. Stay here if you don't want to be helped. Let's have a truckload of race baiters. Oh, there's plenty of them, man. Plenty of them. He definitely broke the chat rules of decorum. He definitely did, Holden Caulfield. Blair says, very insightful. You're welcome. Neville's an Afrikaner Scottish. Let me be clear. You think it's easy. Not many Safas are cock's leg and will not make it outside South Africa. Yeah, well, look, I don't mean to hurt people's feelings, but Arctic is actually correct. I mean, I've run into Afrikaners in England, and they're struggling. They're sinking. They can't adapt. They can't mesh with the place. Sean says, don't pay attention. By the way, you never told me how old those kids were. Now I feel guilty. Were they little kids? Are they still listening? I'm sorry for the potty mouth. Mi dispiace, as we say in Italian. Baba wants me to fix his grammar. I don't know what that NSFW means. People use it all the time. Have a great for the day. Okay, we counted about 1,000 requests for info on the stream. No doubt. Yes, 18 hours since the executive order signed, and they've received. Okay. All right. Has Neil Diamond and the Chamber of Commerce received 10,000 requests? I think that's what you're saying. Okay. I don't know why they asked the Chamber of Commerce. What do they know about it? Yep. I've received a 10,000 in this stream. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Thank you for that, old King Red. Forget SABC. English Afrikaans. Chris, we'll have to give you a timeout. Cool, Tony. Troy, just a question. I've seen a post about the document. It states farmer. No, it doesn't state farmer. No, it doesn't. You haven't seen the document. No, you have not. You have not. You have not. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. You're reading a fake document or you're not reading English properly. Not going to go yet because I'm not going to let that pass. Not going to pass. There is not one mention of the word farmer in this document. Not one. Not one. What are you getting that bullshit from? Nope. It says nothing about farmers. It does mention disproportionate violence against racially disfavored landowners. Landowners are not farmers. Lots of people own land. And it's not just landowners that it talks about. It talks about Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. There is no mention of farmer in here. That's bullshit. Someone's peddling. If you want to go listen to bullshit on SABC or some hate wanker from South Africa who's doing a YouTube channel, thinks to know what they're talking about. Nope. Simply not true. Read the executive order. I've published a link to it. Go to whitehouse.gov. You can find it there. Stop listening to rumors. You don't have to take my word for it. I gave you the link. I told you where to go. Whitehouse.gov, G-O-V. Go there. It's the most recent news item from last night. It's probably still the most recent news item. Read it in its entirety. It's perfectly clear in modern standard written English. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say what people are telling you. It doesn't say all white South Africans. It says Afrikaners, but that will likely be interpreted in a very broad fashion. We don't know. All right, there you go. Well, the South African media are full of shit. Stop listening to them. My goodness. Entire government is shifting now, begging for everyone to think Trump is misunderstood. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that you guys are coming here with fake news. Maybe you're quite innocent in your delivery of fake news, but I don't tolerate fake news. Homie don't play that. Homie don't play that. No fake news here, bud. I'm sorry. No fake news. Yeah, sorry, cool, Tony. I'm not attacking you. I hope it didn't come across that way. But I mean, this has come up 40, 50 times in the 3 hours and 30 minutes we've been doing this. And it came up last night, too, when I was down for 4 hours. Let me give you the link, ladies and gentlemen. You can read it for yourself. Where's it at? I had it here earlier. All right, whitehouse.gov, news. Okay, I'll even show you how to get to it, okay? So there you go. Whitehouse.gov, news. There it is right there. There's the link. I'm going to copy it. See, I'm not giving you any bogus nonsense. I got no reason to tell you fairy tales. Why would I do that? These people have no credibility. Why do you listen to stuff that's put in social media by people who don't know what they're talking about? Just like the fools that went to Senegal in 2021, starting a bunch of shit, causing all kinds of problems, and not knowing what they're talking about. The only person I saw that went there that had their head about them that day, Willem Petzer had his head about him. I'll give him credit for that. And the other person was Sile Ngubisa. That's it. Yes, I'm still up. The ANC have always started. Country comes second. Yep. All right, 300 times now. Pay attention. Leslie Hedmoon. All right, give Irania independence. How will the Afrikaans people be introduced into the American system? Dumped into the deep end of the pool. Learn to swim. Wouldn't the State Department need to replace DEI people? Yeah, they're gone. Those people are being gone. Yep. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll be back later on and let you know. Yeah, Debbie Ells was there, but she didn't broadcast. I didn't have any broadcast from her. I didn't see that. So I don't know, Hendo. I didn't see that from her. I didn't see that. So anyway. All right, thank you. God bless. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Go watch the Ruud Constantia video on my channel if you don't mind. Watch my other videos if you're new. Really appreciate being here. I hope you feel you've gotten the best information you can, because that's what you get. You're saying goodnight. It's daytime here. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I might fall asleep for a little bit of a nap, but I'll be back up to do some more production later on and to bring you updates on this. All right? Cool beans. Cheers, everybody. Take care of yourself. Be safe out there. And cool beans. I'll leave you with this.
Wat kleurt hulle? Geen kop. Hoe ver is het op die Janie?
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on
This morning I'm sharing the stage with guinea fowl, and quite a few of them, as you can see. Yeah, sharing the stage with guinea fowl and barking dogs in a residential area here in Somerset West.